but I think it's fine that we
Instead
disagree
of the
because
Kid Choice Awards, it could be the Mid Choice Awards.
damn it, I should have said that at the beginning. Yeah, this is the Mid Choice Award.
At the end, we're sliming Steve.
Oh no, what does that mean?
Oh no! Why? Why do you make it like that? Okay, next one.
Hello and welcome to Perfectly Mid, first episode of 2025. I'm Steve.
I'm Karlo.
Emily.
And this is Charlie.
We finally got the intros perfect in a new year. This is our first 2025 app. And we're doing it to wrap up 2024.
Yes.
All
it
of
only
it.
took how many tries to get that right?
Yeah, exactly. So now that we've made it through 2024, it's time to look back at the anime and the manga in it. What were our favorite series, our favorite characters, our favorite songs, and who knows what else.
Ooh.
Some of these awards that
Or maybe
we're
not so favorite.
deciding were added last night and might have some thoughts about the naming of one of them. But anyways, before we get into that really quickly, the funnest part of anime awards, the rules.
That's, I mean,
Logistics.
of the three people
Yes.
at this table, the rules would be both of your favorite
Right.
part of anything.
The reason we have rules is because
Otherwise, society would collapse.
well, then you get like a DLC as potential Game of the Year at the Game Awards recently, or Crunchyroll cutting out one of the 4 seasons in a year. Which, by the way, I know I complained about that. I think in our last episode, they're fixing it. So they heard the pod, which we
Yeah.
haven't aired yet, and they are changing it. So now it's going to include winter of 2023 and all of 2024.
But what about our rules?
Our rules, we need to decide on one in particular. 2, really. 1, can Western animations count?
Yes.
Okay, good, because
Anime is animation.
Exactly, that's the Japanese
That's what it's short
perspective.
from.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Second one, and this might take us slightly longer to rule out, if a series starts in 2023, like Frieren, and then ends in 2024, or like Dandadan, which is starting this 2024 and ending in 2025,
Yeah.
what year can we count it for? What are your gut feelings on that? Can Frieren win both years?
I don't know. I base off of what Mao classifies it as when I say I watched the season.
Okay. So is that based off of end of the year or beginning of the year? Or like end of the season or beginning of the season?
Well, for example, Winter 2024 has Frieren as a continuing series in here.
Gotcha. Oh, winter 2024 because that was the January through March. Yep. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And
Yeah.
it's not part 2, it's just the whole series. Okay.
I'm honor system. I think if you finished a core or you've gone through enough arcs, I think you should be fine.
Okay, so we could potentially, I mean, Frieren is a very strong contender. I think we all really like that show. It could potentially, not that we're doing 2023 awards, but it could be a 2023 and 24 winner.
Never
or
heard of it.
Dandadan could win
I should
24 and
watch
25.
it. I should watch Frieren.
Okay.
You
Well,
should watch Frieren.
that's actually what this episode is going to be. We're going to sit down and make Karlo
A
watch
live
Frieren,
react.
which he's definitely never seen before.
This is going on Twitch, baby.
Oh, God. Yeah, follow us on Twitch. We're going to be streaming all the comments and check out this gambling site that is sponsoring us.
Thanks for the subs.
Yeah. So we're going to start then with one music award. And the reason is there's a lot of music we want to talk about, and that could take up a whole episode. So I think we're going to save most of it. But we need to talk about OPs. They're catchy, they're fun, the style is great. And I don't know about you guys, I struggled on this one, which is why I don't want to go first. Do either of you want to start with what you think was your favorite OP of the year?
Ladies first.
I think my favorite was from How to Be Ordinary.
Ooh, I don't think I know that
And I don't know the name of the song, but it's basic, like, it's one of those openings where it looks like it's a little mini movie. And you even said that before. It's like the two of them.
Oh, yes.
Like one's a wolf and one's a fox.
So
And
you're doing like the whole OP,
I'm doing
like
the,
including
Yes.
I classify
This is all of
OP
it.
as cinematically,
like
song,
as a music video,
intro
as
to the
intro to the
series.
series.
We
yeah.
have a separate for our bigger music conversation. We were originally going to do best OP collectively and
Yeah.
then just best opening song and same thing with EDs, but it's too long of a conversation, so
Yeah.
we're just going to do OP.
So this was probably my favorite opening. Because
Eve did it?
This yes.
No, sorry. I just
So then the song is super catchy, so I instantly added it to my Spotify. So that was like strike one, where I was like, okay, this is a banger.
Yep.
Then it's so beautifully cinematically animated, where it's like it doesn't feel like it skips a frame at all, and then it like is a really great opening to the series, where it's kind of is just like it gives you gives you the vibe of what the series is going to be. It kind of like eases you in.
Okay.
Should we? Can we watch it?
Yeah.
And then like
'cause I haven't
cut
seen it
in some
before.
footage.
We'll put in a little bit of footage.
Yeah, just can't have sound.
I haven't seen it, so. But it's Eve, so it'll be good.
Oh, it's Himmel.
Yeah.
And
his little sister.
Yeah. Hermel. I do like this one a lot.
I like the light effects. She's Aki from Chainsaw Man. Did you see the wolf come out?
Yeah. Wolf from War of the Rohirrim
That's where Aki went after.
turned into
Her
Hermel.
reincarnated.
Yeah.
I was reincarnated as
The female love interest in a school series. Oh no, he lost all his color.
Okay, Shinkai.
Yeah. Well, literally the first note of the song, I was like, this very much has that vibe.
Yeah.
Can we cut back to that banana split thing? Like, this is pretty, but I want this to be food.
I haven't watched this like you.
Yeah.
Is there significance to the banana split?
So she really loves food. So like in an episode, so this is very much a slice of life. It's very much a slow burn.
Another question.
So one of the episodes is their summer vacation bucket list is she drags him all over her favorite sweet shops.
Okay.
So
okay.
she's like, one of them is like a strawberry shortcake, one of them is a lemon cake, and it's so hard to describe this show, How to Become Ordinary, because it's like they're like to be sleuths and insert themselves into like the drama at school and like to.
I
But
did hear about this.
at the same time, they're like, you know what, we have to like take a step back because we put our nose in too many people's business when we were in middle school, and now that we're in high school, let's just be normal. But they find it so hard to be normal because it's just against their nature. And so the animals play into like their personality traits and how they interact with each other and others. So it's.
So they're both wolves?
One's a fox and one's a wolf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like the more you watch it, the more you
Classic OP. Like the more you see, the more you get.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a question. Rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
It's in widescreen. Do the wolf and the fox jump from off of the widescreen? They like break the. Stop right there.
They turn into them.
But they break the fourth wall. Look at the letterboxing. Like the black part, right? Mm-hmm. Just pay attention, like right here.
Shouldn't I go back to right where they appeared?
No, right. It comes up here.
No, I don't think it does.
Watch.
I would be surprised.
Oh, when they're running.
See, it breaks the letterbox.
Okay.
That's so cool.
Nice. Good spot.
I just thought it was like, why?
It's a good contender, and it's an Eve song. Eve is spectacular, so not that
The
I was going to
rapper?
complain. Eve?
Yeah, Eve,
Rapper?
the black
Oh my
rapper.
goodness.
I don't know.
From
the yes.
This is the Japanese.
I essentially
artist.
when I was thinking about my contenders for this, it was what OPs did I not skip?
Yep. Yeah, that's usually my rule as well.
And the fact that I didn't skip this, I added it to my Spotify.
Yeah.
And it was like my first for a while it was like my feel good song where I started my day, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna be in a good mood.
Yeah. Before I deal with Karlo, I got to hear this song.
Before I make my to-do list for today and get oppressively stressed, let me watch this.
Sorry if I hurt you with that one. Let me make you feel better with the opening song for Makeine. Did either of you watch Too Many Losing Heroines?
I started it.
Okay.
So I watched the first episode.
Did you
like,
drop
very
it, or you
recently.
just haven't?
No, I just
continued?
haven't.
This was it's not my anime of the year, but it's a strong contender. But this song is, for all the reasons you said, the song is amazingly catchy, fun, high vibes. But the visuals and the effort that went into it, because I ended up watching a cut on YouTube, or multiple cuts of all the OPs and EDs from the seasons that I had seen, and I ended up with a list of like 15 that I'm like, oh, these are all really good. And then I watched this one and I was like, okay, it's actually not fair. This one wins. And one of the major reasons, which you'll see in the video, is I really like when they use the credits. And so the characters actually interact with the credits and they move across screen and play into the video, but also it does a good job capturing the characters'
It's not just an overlay.
personalities. Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Because I watched episode 1, they never played the OP in episode 1.
Oh, you didn't see it? Okay.
Yeah.
I like when the OP is the ED for episode 1.
Yes.
Is this the vibe of the show too?
Kind of.
Like very bubbly?
Kind of. There's parts of it that are. I mean, ultimately, yes, but it's about girls who are the other girl in a rom-com. Every one of the main girls were the turned down girl.
The
Got it.
dumpies.
Yeah. the childhood best friend who got left, or like
That's
the girl
fun.
who couldn't confess to the shy girl. And that is the super thirsty school nurse.
So it's before other quintuplets.
So that kanji is the kanji for love, which
Skide.
this is I shiteru. So the girls who lost it are like seeing it in the sky, and then it's a chase to like go get it. Also, the 4-bow uniform is so cute. It's stupid, but it's so cute.
I'm a sucker for a killer bass line. That was great.
Yeah. And Anna, the not main girl because there's 3 girls, but the blue-haired one who's the first one you meet, also fits that Japanese schoolgirl vibe they do in manga and anime, where they're like, schoolgirls don't gain weight, so they're gonna go eat sweets all the time.
Yes.
And that's like her whole thing, is eating the way I eat, which is awesome.
So we
was
have a
fun.
theme:
Yeah.
2 sweet cinnamon roll girls.
Yeah, exactly. So what was yours?
First, I want to say, excuse my coughing. I have like a little tickle, so I'm going to be coughing. Cough counter.
I don't want to do that. Don't give me weird work like that.
Mine was my highlight from True Beauty, and
I think I saw this.
it's a trash anime, and the OP
Don't say that.
is
Sacrilege.
the OP is so much fun. It has all the vibes of like a Disney Channel show.
Yeah, you say it's like a Hilary Duff.
It's like a
Yeah.
Hilary Duff song, and
fair.
it's so silly. But every time Emily watches it, I'll come into the room just for the OP, and I'll say like, rewind it, play it again. I think it's the only anime song I've added to my liked playlist for 2024.
Really? Not even
Creepy
Otonoke?
Nuts.
Okay, interesting.
So we know.
All right, let's see.
I think technically it's Korean too.
It is, yeah. Oh wait, the song you mean? Yeah, Hilary Duff is a fair. I had seen this, but yeah, it's exactly what this is.
It's so formulaic.
But I mean, that's also a lot of like K-pop content too.
Yeah.
Like it
Like it
fits.
doesn't sound Japanese, so I'm pretty sure.
And like
it's
those are
Korean.
supposed to be 2 different guys, but they
Those
look
are.
the same.
They have different hair.
Oh yeah, cool.
Well, that's because they don't have like crazy Japanese hair. Like when you're
Yeah.
limited to like
They're not-
try to
it's
look,
not pink.
they're trying to look Korean.
But
so.
also like even their voice actors sound the same.
No, they don't.
I think it's not watching as much of that content because I feel that way watching K-dramas, but it's because I'm not as used to the voices.
Maybe it's because it's not a great show.
I'm glad she Googled what is love.
What
No,
is
he
love?
was sending a text
Oh,
message.
the thing that did it for me was the running towards the river with like the legs all the way up. It's also got that vibe, that Japanese like Hawaii vibe, where you know these kids are like in college, but her like secret notebook is like middle school girl pink with like the secret letter. Like it's not just the
Keeper,
show,
yeah.
but
It
yeah,
looks like a bird book from
Right.
Mean Girls.
yeah, exactly. And then she's got the death bunny with like an X across it.
It's
yeah.
so terrible, but I love it.
It's a catchy
I'm obsessed
song.
with it.
I will admit I didn't finish the anime, but the song was catchy.
I will admit I haven't really watched a full episode, but love the song.
Yeah.
Love the song. So is this like an award? Are we gonna, or is it just our
I don't think
awards?
I think
we're
it's
not
like
all
our
watching the
picks.
same things. There
Yeah.
might be one or
Our
two
picks.
where our personalities or our ideas align, but I think it's fine that we
Instead
disagree
of the
because
Kid Choice Awards, it could be the Mid Choice Awards.
damn it, I
Mid-choice
should have said that at the
awards.
beginning. Yeah, this is the mid-choice award.
At the end, we're sliming Steve.
Oh no, what does that mean?
Oh no! Why? Why do you make it like that? Okay, next one.
All I was gonna say is, people are always mad at award shows. Some are good. I think in general people are mad at the Crunchyroll awards because it's just a popularity contest. So I think the fact that we have different tastes, saying, "Hey, this
Yeah.
was our personal favorites," is better than us all agreeing. Also, you don't watch as much anime as Emily and I do, so there's no way we're all watching the same shows.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Okay, so since
So OP.
we did change
Wait, OP was just name it again,
How to Become Ordinary.
Too Many Losing Heroines.
and I was my highlight.
True Beauty.
Beauty.
You don't even know what the name of the show is because you didn't watch it.
Very good.
You have to watch the actual live action K drama and see if there's.
I saw the OP for the live action. Not good.
No.
Oh, you had to
That's
compare.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was the same. I got excited.
That
but
would have
it
been
wasn't.
cool. I think it's the same with Oshinoko. The live action doesn't use the same music. It's like, why? Those songs were so
Yeah.
popular. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna save the rest of the music for our following episode, which will come out later in January, and we're gonna move on to, I'll say it, the more important awards. Best couple, Canon couple, which canon either means it is canon or it hasn't been proven non-canon. Because some of the shows we watched, like even Dandadan, like there's a clear identified romance, but like nothing is set in stone yet.
Okay.
Maybe that's a bad.
and Psycho.
Maybe that's a bad example, but like there's shows where you're like it could still be decided.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start this one and then we'll just like do that?
Yeah. Let me
Round
remember
robin?
really quick who I said for this one. I had some fighting on this one because I was looking at Dandadan like Momo Okarun or Ira and Acro Silky. I was actually considering. In the sense, like their relationship in episode 7, like it's a stretch.
It's not a romantic. We're talking romantic couples, right?
I was stretching it a bit, yeah, but I was like those two together is like so cute. But I think I have to give it to Stark and Fern from Frieren. And not even counting the manga, just like things that have happened in the anime and that ballroom dance.
That's interesting.
Why is it interesting?
Because I put them as something else.
I mean, you could argue,
How
you could
are
classify
they,
them as a ship.
How are they canonically a couple?
In the sense that they clearly were getting closer and closer together, and I specifically think it's okay because of the ballroom episode, because
Like
that
they
was
were
the
a date
that,
to
that
the
was the
ballroom?
indication that Fern had stopped treating him that way and was starting to really warm up to him, and then after that you see them behaving even more open, and she'll like behave jealously or annoyed when he like does something to make it seem like he's not paying attention or listening to her. So. Canon in the sense that like it potentially seems like that's where they're heading.
What do you like about
Versus like if I said Sane and Frieren, the priest and Frieren, like there's that would be a ship.
That's a ship.
Yeah, yeah.
What
Got
do you
it.
like about their relationship? What speaks
I
to
like
it?
that Fern is like, you know, she's got the adorable pout faces and all of that goofy behavior.
Baby Fern's the best.
And Stark has like clearly not been around women very much, so like they'll have disagreements or fights. Like she'll get mad at him for a thing he says. He'll be like, "Oh, she's shutting me out and she doesn't like me." But then, somewhat through pushing of like Sane and Frieren, they'll like deal with their things, and Stark's learning how to like say what he's feeling more, and Fern is trying to get Fern, and you see her doing it to start like not just taking what he says at face value and understand that he's trying and putting in effort. And then you kind of watch them get closer. The ballroom dance is such a great instance of, hey, look at how far they've come from the first episode when she wanted to kill him and wanted like Frieren to be like, why are we bringing this
It's like
guy?
a gentle growth of the
yeah, and I
relationship,
mean, he
which
gives
is
her the
nice.
bracelet.
The bracelet's adorable.
He kills a dragon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want them to confess already.
I won't say anything.
My favorite was Maomao and Jinshi from Apothecary.
Right, which not
Diaries.
together, but like it's pretty clear that there's at least there's interest one way.
I mean, I think there's interest both ways. It's just one refuses to show it.
Or admit it.
Jinshi seems pretty obvious, and Mao.
Yes.
I personally like. I agree. It's like kind of canon. Maomao doesn't really seem interested in in
I feel
anyone.
like it's so. Yeah, she's
If
very
she turned
focused
out,
on what
if
she
she turned out
wants
to
to
be
do.
asexual, I don't think she would behave much differently. I still think it's going that way, but she cares about science and medicine.
I think she cares so much about Jinshi. Yeah. Because like whenever there's an emergency or an issue, like it always cuts to Jinshi, so it's always like hinting at it. And it's tsundere, but in a different way, right? It's she's not actively spurring his advances.
Right.
She's just so concerned with her own life and her own journey.
And not getting killed.
that she
Or trying
she
to with
refuses.
poison.
That's true.
She refuses to give it
The
attention.
only hand that could take her life is her own.
Also, they're
Very
just
true.
two such like funny characters on
Yes.
their own, and the fact that their relationship, whenever they do interact, it's not, oh, here's a relationship. It's these are these two people really interacting with each other. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Mine is a little bit of an ensemble cast. It's the Twilight.
It's a throuple?
No, it's 3 separate couples
Oh, okay.
in the Twilight Out of Focus, which is a BL.
Okay.
What is
3 different couples?
3 different couples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have Hisashi and Mao, you have Jin and Jichi, and then Rei and Xian, and they all like play different tropes.
Okay.
And
like tsundere? And
yeah, you have the couple that's like enemies to lovers.
Uh-huh.
Then you have the like secret to like the canonically straight guy
Yeah,
who then falls in love with the openly gay guy. And then you have the like tsundere, or not even like he's like kudere, so like kind of aloof and like
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
And then the like really boisterous other counterpart to him. So they all complement each other very well.
yin-yang, yeah. Is is the show about their growth into the relationships, or they're already in relationships?
So it's like episode 1, they're in relationships with each other,
nice.
which is like very
The
pleasant
rarer-
surprise.
the rarer,
It's definitely
setup.
not a slow burn. There is some spice. I think it is a mature rated manga. So
Yeah, so all you 5-year-olds watching our podcast
Yeah.
right now, this one's not for you.
not for you. I don't know what
Tell
the-
your parents to watch our podcast because it helps the sub
I don't
members,
know
and
what
so
the
they know
anime
that you
is
can't
rated.
watch
I think
it.
the anime is 16 plus.
Okay.
They don't show anything, but it very much explores the real world relationships of like 16, 17, 18-year-olds, like all the way, like, so those weird instances, weird situations, not knowing like where you're going in life, and then graduating, and then going into the next step into the next phase of your life, and being in different phases of your life. So I think it's just a really good play on like real life relationships outside of the normal, like, oh my god, I held my hand on episode 13 and now I have to wait 3 years for another season.
Yeah.
And it's a BL.
And it's a BL.
Is it written by a woman, written by a man?
I don't know. It's somewhere on my shelf.
We'll
But-
find out.
Yeah. Odds are female.
Odds are
For,
they're
for
horny.
BL, yeah. The opposite, not opposite award, a similar related but different award we have is Best Ship. So this does not have to be canon. So, you know, if you like Bakugo and Deku, for example, that would be a ship.
I think that's your favorite ship.
It's not my favorite ship, but it's a
His is-
great example.
His is Toga and Steve.
Self-insert.
Y/N.
Yeah.
My favorite ship this year is Himmel Freerun. I just love, I love the way they portray it, where she's already lost him, and we're learning about it through flashbacks and all of her regrets and all of just the tender moments that she didn't realize she had missed, and the fact that she's seeing all of this love from Fern and Stark, and reflecting back on her relationship with Himmel is just so sweet. And I haven't read the manga, but I will continue shipping them forever and ever and ever. But I feel like it's one of those things that it's like an inevitability.
Yeah.
Like
but
it's
we'll see.
implied.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That said, I do have the first 10 volumes if you want them, so.
I won't read them.
So good.
We have volume 1.
I have too many things to read.
It's also, it's the perfect example of a ship and not couple, because there was literally no romance between them while he was alive. I mean, it was one-sided feelings, but she straight up didn't get it.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe she gets to the end of the world and she finds his spirit, and that's the end of the series. You
Sort
know?
of
Or she finds a spell to
Bring it back
I don't know,
for a little
resurrect
bit.
him.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Maomao. I guess it's just like, I just like girls who don't love their significant others.
Just don't love. They're just into their own shit.
Yeah.
Magic or medicine. I want girls who are into magic or medicine, but not
just
men.
like real life.
On that note,
What was your?
so mine is a new one. It's Nina and Set from Nina the Starry Bride.
Oh, okay.
So, again, it's like the I'm healing damaged goods vibes.
You would consider? I have to ask. I'm only on episode 4. Are you caught up? How far in it are you? Because you put this as ship, not couple.
Yeah, I mean, they're not canonically together
Okay.
in the anime.
All right.
Spoiler, but I mean, I guess
I mean,
not.
it kind of seemed like it was going to be a slow burn
But-
if it was going anywhere, but.
But I've also now, because I'm so thirsty for it, I've been reading the manga, and so I'm just I was getting a little bored of the fantasy reincarnation
Isekai world, yeah.
Even
How
though
could you
it's
get
not,
bored of it? There's only
I know.
500.
Even though Nina at the Starry Bride is not all of those things, but
No.
right, like those
It's
vibes
just
of like
it's not even really fantasy. It's just like historical fiction.
yeah, whatever that place setting of a
1400s,
lord and lady
Middle Eastern-
castle,
Middle
right,
East
with a
Ottoman
king.
Empire kind of thing.
Exactly. So, but this love triangle is something that I haven't been this torn in a love triangle in a while.
Oh, interesting. I'm not far enough in it where it's a triangle. Right now, it's just a line. So
Yeah.
I have to
So
keep watching.
and it's like every episode I go
baby.
back
Yeah.
and forth. I go back.
It doesn't
and
become a
forth.
triangle if I don't keep watching. It's very obvious.
I just keep going back. You don't. It's like you want to go one way, and then the other guy shows up, and you're like, oh, I forgot about you, but you're also a great choice. So I'm very curious where it's gonna
And
go.
this is the core of all Shojo. There are too many good options.
Yeah.
Speaking of too many good options, mine is an ensemble, and it is Eiji and his harem of Rins in Pseudo Harem.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Don't know it.
It's a boy and a girl in high school. They're in
It's cute.
the acting club, and the girl plays different, like a tsundere, kudere, different
Oh,
versions of
yes.
herself.
Okay, I remember this. I watched an episode
And they're
of it.
they're so cute, and he, obviously he likes her for her, but it's a joke that whenever she goes into her different personalities, she's like, wait, but you wouldn't pick me? And he's like, but I like this element of you as well. They're just cute.
Hence pseudo-harem.
Yeah. Otherwise, I was going to say Akane and Kana from Oshinoko, because they hate each other, but they clearly look up to each other, and they're so goofy together. But you haven't watched that, so you wouldn't know. Separating it, best girl, just girl.
Am I next?
Best girl. Yeah, you're starting this one.
All right, mine is Fern. We're doing real Freerun heavy today.
That's the thing is, because Freerun's included, I think it's going to sweep a lot of awards.
It's so well written.
Yeah,
Like, and
there's no
every
weak
character
point.
is three-dimensional.
I love Fern as a character.
Yep.
Baby Fern is like she
Yes.
she beats Anya for me. I
Yeah.
think Baby Fern is like
Baby Fern is the
Baby Fern,
Japanese
yeah.
government convincing you that, like, hey, Japanese people have kids, they could look this
know,
cute and
like,
learn magic.
when you have a baby Fern like holding a teacup and she can't hold it all in one hand.
Yeah.
Like it's so adorbs.
I think that's why I don't like Fern and Stark, because that means Fern grew up.
Oh. But it's like a first love growing up, you know?
And then I mean I feel like I relate to her on like a couple levels of being just like super headstrong, getting so into like what you're trying to achieve and like forgetting everything around you and then needing that like anchor to bring you back to reality. I just think she's a really well-written character, and she's not just your typical like one-track mind and then all of a sudden she's shifting, right? Like you kind of see the progression. You see the slow development throughout the series.
Okay.
It's not all of a sudden, oh, okay, now I realize it. Bubble, stars, sparkles.
Slow, but like deliberate and
Yeah.
natural, not just slow.
Yeah.
And also, she is a mage and a witch, and I obviously Majo, right?
Yeah, right.
So
Probably could have guessed 2 years would have been. Mine, I was torn on this, but I think I'm going to give it to Anna from Too Many Losing Heroines, the blue-haired girl. She definitely has character flaws. Which is
great.
Which is interesting. I mean, that's
Makes her fun.
That's why she doesn't get the guy she was into in episode 1 and is sobbing in a family restaurant surrounded by people, making a mess of herself. But she is goofy, and she does eventually like get up and kind of pushes through a friendship with the main boy, who's she is using to like fake a relationship to start. And then as the other two girls get involved, she kind of pushes their friendships together. And it's not really a romance show because they all lost, and it's not really about romance with the main guy, at least so far. It's just about them getting over it. And hey, like first love and losing that can hurt, but like you move past it, you make new friends, you expand your worldview. But she's also just a little gremlin.
Yeah.
What made her stand out versus the other three girls?
I struggled with that, to be honest with you. The smaller girl in the literature club is really fun, but she's the shy type, and even though I really like her character arc, I tend not to like those characters as much. And then the sporty girl, I mean, she's a Genki girl. Like, she'll be fine. She's figuring things out. She's recovered the fastest. She's so much fun and so dumb. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm at Anna first, but her quirks just entertain me more.
that's good to hear, because after watching, again, I've only watched the first episode, planning on continuing, like, I always hate when a character is just like so one note, and you're like, oh
no.
my god, it's like so annoying. Like we get it, you're loud, you're annoying, like boo-hoo, like.
I thought I was gonna hate the literary girl, the small one, and then her arc is the last one of the show, and at the end I was like really struggling with like, not that any of them are gonna end up with the main character, but I was like, who is my favorite of these three? Because they all just have their own things going for them, and even though she seemed boring and like a character I would hate, then you figure out what's going on with her, and I was like, oh wow, she's got like way more happening. So it's a great series. Anyways,
Mine is Maomao.
Maomao.
Yeah, I think I covered it in the couples, but I just think I love her independence. I love her can-do attitude. I love that the way they've written her when she does turn into that damsel in distress, it's not like some BS reason. Like there is a logical progression of how she got into that position.
It's like
and
she's
why
locked in a
needs
room
saving.
she physically can't get out of. Not,
Yeah.
oh, I sprained my ankle, someone come pick me up.
Exactly. Like a
Sorry,
bell
every high
fell
No,
on
she's
me.
more like,
Oh, no,
Mom, my leg is gashed open.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
please carry me.
Versus, oh, I went to the summer festival, and what do you know? I need Band-Aids.
Also, she's
Every high school Japanese boy just carry Band-Aids. Every
Yeah.
girl is going to get blisters.
Yeah, my sandal gave me a blister.
also she's immune to poison, which is like the coolest thing.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on from that one to my least, the one I like the name of the least. Because we had Best Girl. Let's just judge these girls holistically on their character traits. And then someone added Prettiest Boy.
I don't know who added that.
Not Best
Hey,
Boy.
we need to flip the script.
Objectively, I don't disagree with that. But I wrote mine down and then I was like, wait, this says Prettiest. I have to change my answer.
They could be pretty on the inside.
That's not what you meant when you
No,
wrote
it
this.
could be anything.
Who's your Prettiest Boy?
Senshi?
No, it's not.
It was Chiguri, but then I thought about it and it's Senshi.
Okay, I was gonna say, because you put Chiguri, and that is just straight up,
That
that's
is-
looks.
Chiguri is the prettiest boy, but
Senshi has the best beard.
Senshi is the prettiest boy. Like he's pretty on the inside. Like in the first episode, I thought he was like actually a monster.
That's what you're supposed to think.
Yeah, but then like he just ends up being the best man.
Yeah.
He's the best man. He would be my best man. He would be my groom. I'd marry Senshi.
You would groom him.
I also
Yes.
love how similar to like the gojo, the muscular gojos and the muscular oh my
Ghettos?
God, ghettos, and who's the other guy? Megami's dad. Oh my god.
Toji.
Toji, yeah, the muscular Tojis, and how then most muscular Senshi
is?
has
Oh,
become a thing.
I have to get myself one of those Senshi mouse pads.
With the
Oh, with like
Chest?
the pecs.
Yeah, where they give them big
somebody
chest.
somebody in my clan, his girlfriend got into One Piece and gave him a Zoro one.
Oh, goodness.
He's like, I have it, and she made sure I put it down on my computer desk and used it.
So Senshi's mine.
So Senshi's yours, okay. So moving away from the objective prettiest, or the physical appearance element, because I chose
Yeah.
both because I wasn't sure what you meant. So my
Who's your prettiest, and then who's your
my
prettiest?
prettiest is I don't think any of you guys watched Bang Bravern.
no? But I did read your review on it.
Lewis Smith, the blonde American.
We need a pick.
Hold on one second. I will do you one better. I'm going to show
God.
you guys the ED because it very much Bang Brave ED. This will take a minute, but
Come on, Mufasa.
why
Let's
am I
get
getting
some trouble.
ads?
Oh no, Disney copyright.
Oh, it's because I'm in the wrong account. I should have done this before we played. Anyway. So it's, it's a mecha war story. So this is how the ED starts.
Is that Lewis?
That's Lewis.
Oh, his eye floats above his
Hair?
his hair.
Yeah.
And the
No,
other
his
guy's
neck.
guts.
His hair is see-through.
Is it a musical?
No,
Oh,
it's not. It's a mecha show, and the robot talks, and it's super into mecha. And that guy just wants to be a good soldier, and Lewis grew up wanting to be a mecha pilot.
Are there characters singing, or is
These
it
are their
other
characters singing. And this is very much like a slow war opera moment.
This plays at the end of every.
But wait,
Oh, I thought they were gonna kiss.
You just want
turns out they're on a stage.
Nice.
This was in my ringing for best ED.
Is this
This is the ending, and
every episode?
this is the ending of every episode. The first episode, all of the comments were like, "What the fuck was that ending?" Because it came out of nowhere.
This is like a
And then
Kaguya-sama ending.
the show is actually very sexual. Like the robot is constantly like, "Isami, get in me!" So there's this BL element to the show.
I always find it so hard when a non-idol anime has a singing option.
Normally I would, but it's so gay that I was like, this is amazing. Because it opens like it's just a war thing and they're on two elements of a battlefield. And it's like, no, they're doing a stage play. So anyway, Lewis Smith, Prettiest Boy. But my best boy, not that either of you watch Monogatari, but Araragi is back this year with the Often Monster season. He's in college. He's got longer hair. He looks great. He's actually a little bit smarter and starting to come into his
Long-haired
detective
arc.
element. He's got a yellow Volkswagen Beetle that he drives around.
He drives around Bumblebee.
I would hate that. We don't need giant robots in that. Actually, a giant robot in the series would be good.
I love a long hair transformation.
Yeah.
Aaron going from boy Aaron to long hair Aaron. Love to see it.
Jeez Louise.
How about you, Em?
Mine's a no-brainer, guys. Jinshi.
Boom. Look at that hair.
Oh, that's
Jinshi's is my prettiest
Yeah.
boy.
Jinshi is the prettiest
My
boy.
little pretty boy over here.
Is he a pretty boy inside and out? Like, period. Jinshi pretty boy.
Oh no, I'm just based on looks.
Yeah.
He is the prettiest boy, and if you've read the manga, there is his looks come in handy.
Even
I'll
though
tell
he
you
only
that.
has a little frog?
I would say it's a pretty
Regular size frog?
It could be a sizable frog.
could be a sizable frog, quite impressive frog. We don't know, but Jinshi, come on, he's got it all. To the fact that they
it's a
have to
bullfrog,
hide
you know,
him
they
in the
get bigger
rear
with the air.
palace, and Maomao
Get it, rear
is
palace?
the only, and Maomao is the only one that can see him when he like first wakes up in the morning, because
Yeah.
it'd be too much
Yes.
for the average lady in waiting.
Yeah. In restrictive feudal China.
That's your prettiest boy?
Yeah, I
prettiest
like that we
boy.
only had looks in the male category. Although we do have one more category where that
Okay.
could potentially come up. Your favorite character.
Favorite character?
That could be for any
Period.
reason. Yeah.
I just started the last one. You
Okay,
start this
I'll
one
do
because
this
we
one.
skipped you.
Okay, yeah.
Karlo was too excited about Jinshi.
Well, he put me on the spot. I had to say it.
Well, because you named the category, I was like, I want you to justify the choice.
No, he was like, you know what? I have
favorite
to
character
interject.
for me, favorite character came down largely to personality. Like, do you get excited every time they show up on screen? Do you wish there was more of them in the show? So once I did that, my long list got pretty obvious, and it's Yuki Suo from Alya-san, the sister. The best part of that show,
Okay.
easily. I would almost say, unfortunately, she's the sister, which means she can't be a romantic interest, but it's funny because she's the sister and plays into anime tropes, but isn't really actually romantically into her brother, but they play into, like, the trope of, well, this is a weeby anime, so, like, there's going to be some presumed incest that is not real.
But it, like,
she's just such a
leans
goof.
into it.
Yeah, she leans so hard into it, it's really funny.
So I'm interjecting. Mine is Masachika Kuze. Is my favorite character.
That's the
The
older
brother.
sister. Oh, the brother for best character. Oh, hell yeah! Sorry, I was thinking of Masha. Okay, yeah.
Kuze.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's hilarious. Like, he's one of those characters. He's like pervy but funny and quick and like quick-witted and unassuming and like.
And the two of them play so
So
funnily
they
off
play
of each other.
so good
If
against
you
each
remove
other.
the romance part from best couple, would they be the
I
best
actually
couple?
would like Alia and her sister removed from the show and just the siblings. They're okay. Alia I don't like as much. But these two are the best.
So would they be
And-
not best couple, but best pairing? Best couple?
Best
Best
pairing.
duo
Best
or
pairing, yeah, best duo.
Yeah.
The brother sister.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like it as much if she was actually a romantic interest. I think it's really funny because they're siblings.
Yeah, and I think so. I watch dub, and so Aaron Dismuke is an English voice actor, and he does
else does he-
absolutely phenomenal job. He does Shirogane from Love Is War.
Okay, got it.
He does Chigiri, I think,
Oh,
as well.
I was like, something's
Let
in
me
the closet.
let me fact check myself.
Yeah.
But he's just the way he delivers things are just absolutely hilarious. Yeah, Shirogane, Tamaki from
Oh, My Hero? Okay.
My Hero. Oh, he's hilarious. Yeah. Yep, and Chigiri as well. So,
Okay.
chef's kiss the way that he delivers those lines.
So which
I feel
character
like
from
I
Alia is
should
your
watch this.
favorite?
I haven't watched it.
All right,
Wait,
we're
what's
gonna
the name of
skip
it?
you.
Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian.
Then I like Alia the Russian.
The Russian.
You're wrong. You're so wrong.
My favorite.
I hope she gets better.
My favorite character this year is a sleeper. It's Joe Togami from Windbreaker.
Okay.
He's the rat tail guy.
Oh, yeah, you love
from
him.
Windbreaker. He has
rat
like little
tail guy.
circle glasses that are green.
Was he the one who like doesn't actually fight? I can't remember.
No.
He was the guy on the enemy gang.
Okay.
And he was like the lieutenant for the enemy gang.
Oh, the one who was trying to like
He's the
to
one
stop the
that
fighting.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, he's the one that fights Sakura, and they like
Gotcha.
And then
get
he,
really
like-
excited.
And
Yeah.
through the
He
fighting,
was cool.
through the metaphor of fighting,
You like
they
a man.
learn.
You like a man with a hoppy coat over his shoulders.
I just like that this show. It's such a nothing show.
Yes.
The fight scenes are incredible, but they just gave him so much character development, and he's not even a main character. Like,
Yeah.
why did they put so much effort?
I would
Right.
say he's barely a
If he doesn't,
secondary character.
right,
Yeah.
and he should be the star of the show. And if he's
Yes.
not in season two, I'm not looking forward to.
He's
'Cause
so
he should be in
compelling.
it, yeah.
He's like a Jesse Pinkman. Like Jesse Pinkman was supposed to be written out of the show, but then they made him.
Do you think it helped?
character.
It helped him shine even more that the head of that school sucked. Like, I just didn't care about him at all.
Oh, the
Yes.
little like
He was
Yeah.
so
Mikey
he was
wannabe.
so uninteresting, like psychotic.
Yeah.
Like that I was like it made him look better.
I think that was on purpose almost. But
Joe was still a cool character,
Yeah.
but like he shined better for how uninteresting the leader was.
Yes, and I think he's more interesting than
All
any
of them,
other
yes.
character. Maybe the lead of the Windbreaker crew. Not
I want them to have
Sakura,
like
but the other guy.
Oh, the white
season
hair
2
guy?
should
Yeah.
just be the two of them hanging out, not fighting.
Yes.
Just doing fun stuff.
It should be
eating
them singing.
omurice at the
yeah,
diner.
hanging out on the roof,
Yes.
eating the food he cooks.
I was gonna say it should be them on a stage singing operatically about their big robots.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god.
So the next category, I kind of threw it in here, and admittedly I didn't have a ton of ideas, but it seemed like maybe we'd come up with some stuff which was kind of biggest meme in real life or social media or something that popped up. Admittedly, I really got stuck on one, but since you just went, I'm going to pass back to you for what yours was.
Yeah, mine was the Bling Bang Bang Born dance. Ding, 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 ding. Every con,
Yep.
people were doing it, and it was just so much fun to watch. And it's a great song.
Yeah.
So I never got tired of it, which is like interesting with memes because like they run so quickly. It's very easy to get tired of them, get oversaturated, especially with like TikTok and shorts.
Yeah.
But Bling Bang Bang Born, loved it this year.
Okay. Mine is also a song, and it's kind of obvious because I did write it down as an example, but I couldn't think of anything better, which is the Shiganoko dance, which same thing, never get sick of it. Everybody was posting on social media, and I would still watch every time. I still enjoy the song. I actually think the song was the strongest part of the show, unfortunately.
You mean not the AI subtitles?
Yeah, that wasn't great. The show was okay. It ended up being like, some jokes hit, some didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not.
comedy.
I don't know. It's
not
a
to
6 or a
everybody's
7 out of
taste,
10,
yeah.
but the song was great.
I liked the videos that I saw where the person was dressed up as her, but just wore a real life deer head, or not a real life, but like a real life accurate
like,
deer head.
Okay,
Yeah. The like rubber one.
Yeah, the latex.
Oh, I thought you meant like a
Latex,
stuffed deer head.
they
Yeah,
hunted a
taxidermy.
deer.
Oh, I could
they
do that at my
taxidermied it.
grandfather's house.
Don't do it.
It won't go well. The internet will not appreciate.
Cancel Steve.
I didn't even do it yet.
He's a murderer.
Let me do it first.
We're Minority reporting you.
The movie? Oh, Before a Crime Occurs?
You got there.
I didn't see it, so.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
Minority Report?
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about real stuff. We're here to talk about anime.
So yes, I think those are the big hits, and I kind of base this off of like what I see most on TikTok when I'm scrolling my For You page.
You're our only person who can comment on what's on TikTok,
That's
so I'm
not
very
true.
excited.
Carlo is very much on TikTok. The most recent one is the Dan cut, where they basically take like the iconic dances from the Dan opening. Yeah, like they take that and then
Maomao.
they have snipped it down into like a 15-second thing where it's like they do. They start off with like when Momo's walking down the hallway, and then they do
This
that
is people
part.
doing it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they do where the aliens are dancing, and
Yeah.
then the end, and then they end with the cat going
Okay,
like
yeah.
that. So like it's a really fun little stitch, and like it's fun seeing a group of friends doing it.
Yeah. So basically, we all circled around songs that are still fun 30 listens later, and
Yes.
people doing them, which is
And
fun.
people dancing and being creative.
Yeah. I like that. So the next category might go a little bit wider. This was biggest surprise for the year. And I threw this in there because it could cover a lot of things. It could be like a series that surprised you that you weren't expecting to like and surprise you. It could be a moment from a show where you're like, I can't believe that happened. That really got me. It could be a news story like, oh, wow, this series is getting a season 2, or this is going to get an anime. I can go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go last because
I had like a bunch of series I was looking forward to, like the fact I got Monogatari was like I think the first article I wrote for Shade. Magical Girl and the Evil Lieutenant like really surprised me, and then series like Ranma 1/2, which is like from like the 70s, got a remake. It's actually really good, but mine has to be Sengoku Yoko, which is an anime based off of a manga, which is really popular. I have to check the author's name because I should name him, but he writes a lot of fascinating manga that are super popular that have always had bad anime adaptations. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer came out last year. Isn't worth watching, unfortunately, but you should read the manga. It's pretty good. I'm not going to say it's like a 10 out of 10, but I wasn't expecting it to be. The fact it's a perfectly serviceable like 7 out of 10 anime for this guy who just never gets them is amazing. And his name is Satoshi Mizukami. So I was not optimistic when this came out.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was
Why
gonna be
do
good.
they got a bad rap?
So part of it is people thinking like it's tough to animate his series because they're not bombastic in the beginning. It's about world building, and then eventually it becomes something.
Okay.
So that's challenging, and just when we got the Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer anime finally, which everybody's really excited about, the studio that did it did a very bad job. It looks terrible. I really tried to watch the first episode and I dropped it, even though I wanted to as a fan. I was like, I can't watch this. So hopefully, now that this is good, they'll animate Spirit Circle, which is maybe my favorite of his manga.
I have two.
Okay.
Yep.
I have two most surprising moments. One was Anime NYC getting a 4th day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
That's
a pretty
great.
big surprise.
Yeah.
It's only 4 more hours though, so it'll be interesting to see.
only
Well,
4
no. Well, on Friday was it a full day usually?
Yeah.
It was a full day.
So what is it? Thursday's a
So
half
it's an
day?
extra half day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that they would do that. I'm happy that they're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm really pumped for next year and seeing what that means for programming and what that means for just the budget for Anime NYC.
Yeah,
You're
like
right though.
what they're
That's
gonna
weird
bring.
that it's half.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking it's like, oh, they got a ton of content to fit in. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take an extra day, but
Yeah. So that was one surprise. And then my other surprise, I'm not sure if it was this year or last year, but finding out
if
that,
this is for last year, you have to leave. You don't get any more awards.
okay.
It's null and void.
Finding out that there was going to be a Suicide Squad isekai.
That was announced last year.
That was announced last year?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, well then
It's
my
okay.
surprise was
Finding
how bad
out, but
it was.
that, I was going to say there's another category where that might be
Fine.
coming up later on.
I'm so surprised to be like, oh, this sucks.
How about surprised that Mori Calliope did the ED for that?
Who's that?
She's the VTuber that they had on Trash Taste. She does.
Oh.
She plays the Grim Reaper character with like the purple hair.
Yeah.
And she does a pretty.
Like the delinquent one?
She did the Rap God cover. Was one of the things that got her popular. But she's done a lot of music, so she sings the ED for that show.
Cool.
And without commenting on any other part of that show just yet, her song is very good.
Well,
Does she like?
It's the one that has the super catchy dance of like Amanda Walker doing.
Yeah, but does she have like? Is she like an actual recording artist, or was this like?
She
her
does.
First?
I think this is her first. I think it's her first. Like, oh, her song is getting used in something. But she does a number of songs. Like she's put out. I don't know if it's an album, but she's done a number of her own songs.
That's what, I love to see like YouTubers and VTubers and like just get recognition outside
well,
of the sphere
I'm
of
very
the internet.
excited.
That's cool.
You should be very excited because I think Iron Mouse just released a song with Sea Dog.
Another one, yeah. And it played at the Streamer Awards. It was really good. I was gonna say the two VTubers I like who sing that I think are both very good. Not that I know all of them are Mori Calliope and Iron Mouse. And obviously Iron Mouse trained as an opera singer, so it makes sense. But Mori's good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about many things.
That's the way the world works.
Glug glug
You're
glug
the
glug,
reverse
glug.
of Tyrion
Speaking of
Lannister.
things that we didn't know about, at
Wait,
least at first,
Emily
her
didn't-
biggest surprise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me some room to segue. I got this.
So I want to say my biggest surprise was that after over 10 years, Kimi no Todoke got a season 3.
Ooh, which one's that?
That's From Me to You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, an old school shoujo from like the Say I Love You days, the first Fruits Basket days. I think 2009 is when the first season came out.
When did the second season come out?
Like very shortly after that, and then
there's a long
Netflix picked it up, gave it a dub, and
Wow.
And now
released it in
season 3.
2024.
Okay.
Wow. I guess they got a lot of interest from it.
I mean, and then didn't the Nana mangaka also just recently come out that she's finishing the series?
I haven't seen that yet. If so, that's amazing. I keep waiting to start that one because I'm concerned about, it's obviously been on a very long hiatus.
Yes. So.
That's awesome. That's actually really
2020.
interesting.
It'd be cool if she was coming back.
I thought I saw something on TikTok, but I know that that's fake news. So.
Yeah, it doesn't look
But
like it.
I
just
heard
yet,
it.
But it'd be cool.
But if it is fake news, this gives us hope that shoujo resurgence is happening.
It's cool. It like fits. You think about like Netflix and they drop so many series all the time. Reviving anime, it like fits in with their business model. It's cheaper to produce. You like already have a built-in audience, and you have like historical data on how well it does. I mean, and it gives a competitor to Crunchyroll, which is great.
Yeah. When we talked last episode about how Fruits Basket, I think was the first remake that kind of.
I mean, the first one that
pushed- It's the first one I can think
notable
of
enough
that
to-
was
yeah.
really big from a while ago that then spawned it. The other one, which I didn't mention but was my number 2, was how good Spice and Wolf remake is. The fact that we got it and how good it is, and that we're starting now to get content that wasn't in the original. So.
And it's the same voice actors.
Yes.
Holding that hope for Soul Eater.
I mean, it'll end up getting announced. I don't know if it's going to be
Tokyo
next
Ghoul.
year, but
Tokyo Ghoul.
oh, speaking of disappointments, most disappointing new series. So something that came out this year that was a big ol' letdown.
Uzumaki.
Okay, I was going to say. I
Say
figured
that
one
with
of
my
you were
chest
going to
out.
say it.
Uzumaki.
Really, you didn't like that? Huh. I feel like you haven't said anything about it before on any episode.
I've never said anything about it.
This is news. This is Anime News Network.
Yeah.
And
Breaking news if you haven't seen Uzumaki
This is
or
both of your biggest surprise of 2024.
is that you didn't like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I
Weirdly,
tried.
the world didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that
obviously,
also
aside
yours?
from that. No, not mine. I didn't
No,
watch
it's
it.
mine.
No,
Yeah.
No, I said, is that also yours?
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
so-
you haven't seen the
No.
whole watch? I thought you said you watched like episode 3 and then you're like, I can't do this anymore.
No, I've never watched Uzumaki.
Oh.
No.
That was me. I watched episode 3 and couldn't do it anymore.
What's yours? Your
Mine
biggest disappointment
is-
for new series.
The Demon Prince of Momochi House.
I didn't see
It
that
was
one.
marketed as a Kami-sama Kiss remake with your typical yokai boys and your orphan girl.
Okay.
It was boring.
Oh, okay. So it did have what it said on the tin, just not an interesting
Yes,
story to
I
go
was
with
very
it.
disappointed. I wanted to like it so bad, but it was like every episode was a chore.
How many episodes did you watch? You are a completionist.
Oh,
How
I
many
finished
episodes?
it. I can't. I finished the season. I can't unless something. I think one of the only series I've actually dropped is Domestic Girlfriend because I just physically.
Oh my God, you have to
Could
keep watching
not
it.
finish that one.
I finished that manga because it was an amusing train wreck.
Okay, well you see his trends. So
I'm not saying it was good, but as far as train wrecks go, even for how bad it was, every chapter I was like, "There's no. How did you come up with this?"
no, I could not finish that anime. It was
Like
too cringe.
Like Rental
I
Girlfriend
finished-
is a train wreck, but like nothing happens. This is like, where did the author pull this idea from? There's already 20 things going wrong.
To give you context, I finished Prison School and I could not finish
Wow.
Domestic Girlfriend.
Did you at
anyway,
least enjoy the
going
opening?
back to Momochi House.
Yeah.
It was very one note. There wasn't really a ton of development. I don't know. It was a Nanami wannabe and a Tomoe wannabe trying to just wannabe.
Were the characters boring or was the story boring?
I think both.
That stinks.
It was just
Yeah.
like the character designs were really cool, and the way that they articulated some of his powers with like, I don't know what the technique is, but it's like when you have like a cutout and it's like it clearly is like moving around. Like if you have like a pattern behind a cutout.
Oh, like in Chowder?
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
So
Like the pattern stays like static, but like the character moves, but like the pattern stays the same.
As
Yeah.
part of their like outfit or something?
Yeah, so like his
Oh,
kimono.
one of my favorite anime did that, Gankotsu. It's the Count of Monte Cristo. It's a really cool technique.
So, but that was the coolest part of it.
Okay.
Womp womp.
I would have mentioned Suicide Squad, except I don't care about Suicide Squad, so when it sucked, I was like, whatever, I wasn't
Okay.
interested in the characters. I had a tie. One is not terrible, but it's just Jellyfish Can't Swim at night. Can't Swim at Night, which
Oh,
started...
I thought you said you liked that
I
one.
did enjoy it. I really enjoyed the first half. The ending was okay.
That was
but,
High
like,
Dive, right?
Yeah. It's still worth watching. I enjoyed it, but it just... The ending didn't live up to how good the first half was, and so that was a little disappointing for me.
Was it kind of like right in the middle? It kind of trailed off, or was it like
It
the last?
just, I'd say the second half, like it opened so strong, and the first, like as the girls are all getting to know each other and getting into what they're doing is really strong, and then it kind of just the final problem they're dealing with. I didn't love the way they resolved it.
Just
so it was
fizzles.
like, yeah, it was fine, but the show it got compared to, that a lot of people were compared to, a place further than the universe, which was about 4 girls going to Antarctica, was a similar like strong idea of like these 4 girls who have their own things going on. Except that story's amazing from start to finish and ends so well. So this was a bit of a letdown. But my real one is Ranger Reject.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
the art. The first 2-3 episodes really set
They
it
were
up well.
good,
I wrote an article rating it way too early, and I didn't even finish the season. Manga's still great. Highly recommend the manga. Anime's not worth it, and it's getting a season 2.
Stop
Was it the
building up our
animation?
expectations, everyone. If you're gonna be bad, just be bad from the beginning.
Was it the animation or just kind of?
It
like,
was the animation.
Yeah.
They
I
also
totally
tried
get
to
that.
speed through the testing arc, which, to be fair, is the weakest arc of the series. But because they tried to speed through it, it made it make even less sense, and like you didn't care about anything because they were moving too fast and introduced like 10 characters, but don't spend the time to.
Did you read it before watching
I
it?
had read it, yeah.
So you were like, you knew kind of what to expect.
Yeah, but I was reading comments of online, and people, the fans are like, how is anyone understanding this? And then the people who hadn't read the manga are like, I'm not attached to any of these people. Who are they? They're just throwing names at me. And also the animation was like terrible. So that's disappointing new series. But there are some shows that have been running for a while. So what was your most disappointing continued series? Something that maybe it's a season 2 or season 3 or like started running last year. I can go first just to say it early. Reincarnated as an Aristocrat, which wasn't great, but it was one of those series where like I was kind of hooked a little bit on the premise. I finished season 1. I had a break, and then I watched 3 episodes of season 2, and I was like, man, nothing bad is going to happen to these characters, and this kid is coming up with not that great ideas, and every adult around him is an idiot, and they're like, this kid's so smart. Like the lord he serves under, in front of all the other lords of like this massive area as they're going into wars, like, I'm making this 8-year-old like the general.
Ender's Game, baby.
And he's like, what do you all think we should do? And all the lords are like, we should attack this building. And like, it's a stupid, dumbass idea. And the 8-year-old's, luckily his people around him are like, you should say something. He's like, that's a bad idea. And the guy's like, you're gonna be the general. So smart. It's awful.
You 8-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Genius
Also,
man.
but also he's reincarnated, which they tell you in the beginning and in the title. And if it wasn't in the title, you would not know because it literally
He acts like an
never
8-year-old?
it doesn't come up.
Is he reincarnated from like a future world, which makes him a genius?
No, he's reincarnated as an adult, and it never comes up. Like, even in he's engaged to another girl his age, because he's like, I don't know, 8 or 12 or whatever, and like another girl. It never comes up that he's like, man, I should feel a little uncomfortable about this. It's a 12-year-old. No, he behaves like a 12-year-old. It never gets brought up.
It would have been great if he was an 8-year-old that got reincarnated as an 8-year-old.
That would make more sense given the way he acts. This is the epitome of we put isekai in the title to make you buy the book. It is not an isekai.
They
know how to
gloss
get
over.
it.
It's like in the like the character guide.
It's actually written in like ink that will fade over time. So you get home and you get the book and you're like, wait, I thought this wasn't. It doesn't say it.
Oh my god.
It doesn't say reincarnated. It says I was always an aristocrat. You idiot.
I was born as an aristocrat.
I was born for the first.
Reincarnated? Question
I was
mark?
born for the first time.
At the end, it just says psych.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was a dream he had as a kid.
My biggest disappointing continued series is My Hero Academia.
That's interesting. I heard a lot of people like this season.
I don't know.
I disagree.
Something about
I think
it.
that this season was way better than the past 2.
I think I'm
I'm gonna lean back.
people
and let
have
you two
been
duke it out.
calling it mid for so long, and like I really liked it in the beginning. I always knew that it's like your standard shonen, but the longer it goes on, and the more anime I watch, the more I'm just like, okay, I get it. Can we move on? Can we do something interesting with these characters? And like to wrap it up, it's just like you know how it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. So like to watch it play out, I just wish they were doing something more interesting with it. Okay. And that's why it's disappointing me. Just the expectations were up here.
You had spoiled yourself kind of on like what was coming though, right? You had a sense of what was
I started
coming?
reading the manga because I liked it so much.
Yeah. I do appreciate though how they sped it up. Like
yes, compared to the manga, they're
how
like,
far
it's
are they?
expedient.
Like, are they in the final?
Bakugo's dead.
Okay, thanks for the spoiler. You mean Bakugo's dead?
You know, you just bleep.
Yeah.
Bakugo is gay.
Yeah. Bakugo ends up with Deku.
Oh my god, Steve, you keep bringing up this shit.
Because it's funny. Because I want to. I'm
is
farming
Steve's
for
favorite
comments.
show.
I'm farming for comments. Clip us.
Toga and Bakudeku. That's
Yeah.
Steve. But
Yeah.
that's my. I just expected. Because I loved it so much in the beginning, I expected to love it as much now, and I just don't.
Do you think that it ending around the same time that the season aired took away from the season?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's is the piece.
Yeah.
That you got to like read the ending, so you knew what it was all leading.
Yes,
leading
and
to.
also
And the
because
ending
there's-
was like not very like.
It's fine.
It was fine, and there was so much oversaturation because of the ending.
Like you said, mid is not bad. Like a mid thing is a thing you'll watch.
Yeah.
It's just not something you'll like maybe remember that often.
I was most disappointed by this.
That's
this
fair.
year.
Okay. Side note, just because you mentioned the Toga thing, I wanted you two to know, Rin doll apparently cosplayed Toga. She did a video with Connor, and he showed it. If you'd showed me her cosplay of Toga, which is amazing, I probably would have turned on Toga faster.
You heard it
Cosplay
from
was
here.
the answer.
Steve gets turned on by Toga.
No, I thought it was a really cool cosplay. I was like, man, seeing other people not be psychotic and just dress like this, it's her talking that ruins the character.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My disappointing continuing series was Demon Slayer with the
Demon
Hashira
Slayer.
training arc.
The dragging out of what was,
yeah.
I think, 3 chapters in the
Yeah.
manga.
It was literally what, 7, 6,
It was
7, 8
8
episodes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this could have been a movie.
Another thing where it's like it's experienced such highs, or you've experienced such highs watching it, and you're just like,
And what it was is they're going to do the movies, and they just needed to...
Like
Lead
fill
up
They
to
needed to
space,
make this
yeah.
content, but they're like, we can't release 2 episodes, so we're going to make 8 because you guys will buy it.
And I think you're the only one who's read the manga,
have.
but didn't it's like you said 2 to 3 chapters,
It's 2 to 3
so
chapters.
there's a
It's
lot
not
of
that
like
long. Maybe
fill
it's a couple
in there.
chapters more, but like if you consider the usual like 2 to 3 chapters for an episode, it's not 24 chapters. It's not that long.
But it's like they put in stuff
Yes,
to like
they
fill
put in a
the
lot of
time.
stuff. Like the fight between the Wind and Snake Hashira never happened.
Oh.
There was really almost no interaction between them. You know, like him training with the Wind Hashira, or no, the Snake Hashira, where he ties up all the other demons.
To the
core.
things,
That was like
yeah.
a panel. The Rock moving being a whole episode, that was like maybe half of a chapter. Yeah, they added a lot of stuff, which is cool in the sense that it gave you a bit more character, like time with these people before they go into battle. But it was way, 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 way too much.
Do you think, having read it, do you think they expanded on the right parts? Like, do you think it would have helped the story more to expand on like Zenitsu and
I mean, I would
what's the
love if they
name?
never spend any time with Zenitsu. But aside from that, I realize that's my personal opinion. Yeah, I would have liked if they spent more time with
Inosuke.
Yeah. You know, even with Kanao and the
Yeah.
and the girls. You know, there's more they could do.
Like they
But
could have
did
built
need-
on Kanao and like and Tanjiro a little more.
Kanao has a role to play in the next arc, and it a little bit comes out of nowhere. I think we maybe talked about this, but they have that role of it's not Futatsume, but it's she is the only like sub captain person to Shinobu. There's a role, there's a term for it. It's in the manga. Nobody else is ever in that role. It's just her. None of the other Hashira have a person like that. And they don't really. I think they literally mention it in this new season, but they don't talk about it. It's like
Well, I missed it.
She's the only
right
one that
because
has
it's
her shit
irrelevant.
together.
Because it's irrelevant. That would have been a cool thing to expand on, for example.
I only
think
knew about it because I got confused so many times. I'm like, wait, is she the Hashira? Is she not the Hashira?
So it's good that they chose to expand on the characters, because once it goes in the battles, you don't see much of that. But it's too much.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Adding on to the disappointment, did you see the trailer for the movie?
No, I've not watched
There's no
it
point.
yet.
There's nothing in it.
Oh, okay.
There's no new content in that trailer.
Well,
Demon
as long
Slayer
as
loves doing that.
as
Yeah,
long as
here's
the
clips from the
movie-
old season and a lot of a 3-dimensional infinite castle. Like
As
just
long as the movie is not just the Hashira
I think it's
training
3
arc in
movies.
the first 40 minutes, I will be happy. I mean, obviously, look behind us. I'm a sucker for anything. I will buy anything.
Yeah.
But this was just a blatant cash
It was a
grab to
blatant
me
cash grab.
of, hey, you know, if I can see through it, it's got to be pretty obvious.
The one caveat I will give them is, given how much we talk about how tough it is for the anime studios and the need to make money, this is how they fund things. So I'm like, get your bag. I didn't enjoy it, but I'm glad you're getting money out of it.
Yeah, there better be a popcorn bucket at
Oh.
AMC. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it should be Rengoku, and the hole should be his chest, and that's where you put the popcorn. Hit me up, AMC.
Spoilers for
Spoilers for
a movie
season
that came out a
1?
while ago. No, 2.
So season 2, yeah.
Season 2 and the movie.
Yeah. All
Another
right.
cash grab.
All right, let's get off the negative content for a little bit and go positive. A couple of manga awards really quick. Best new manga. So something that started this year.
I'll start because I have the least input on this. I don't read manga a lot.
Yeah.
But I also I can't read weekly because I forget too quickly, so I like to read like when volumes come out.
It's called an addiction. I can teach you about it.
I mean, like I used to read comics as a kid, and even like reading Western comics, like I read detective comics all the time, and like I would always forget and have to reread, so I would just get annoyed by it. So I read volumes. This year, released in English, first volume released was Yamada-kun Level 999, and I started reading that. Emily made me start reading that, and
Have
I
you
really
watched it?
I
Or is
haven't
this your
watched
first
it.
intro?
I've
Okay,
I've only read it, and I really like it. I enjoy it. Like I was getting through it really quick. What is it, like 3 volumes now?
3 published. 4, I
yeah.
think, is technically out.
I like ran through them in like 2-3 days. It was a lot of
4 is
fun.
technically out, but Kino is back-ordered, so I don't have it.
Okay, so Yamada-kun.
Yeah.
Emily, do you have a favorite new manga?
So I don't typically read online. I will wait until I have like physical media volumes, just because I like the feeling of books. So I think mine is How I Met My Soulmate.
Okay.
It's
I don't know this one.
4 volumes out so far. And I just always appreciate when it's like college level romance and it's not just a bunch of and it's not high schoolers. So it's refreshing when you have actual like people in college exploring emotion, being real life, struggling with what to do as an adult.
Our English only comes out online or in volumes. There's no like weekly.
There are weekly
There
English.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are. Do they
Yeah.
have like Shonen Jump that releases in English, like print?
No, not Shonen Jump. No. That's in the app.
Yeah, but like
Yeah, and
like
online they don't do like print. Like they don't do print.
Yeah, but
Shonen
are there
Jump.
any print English that come out weekly?
No.
Oh, weekly? No. Everything's in volumes.
Only
But that's
volumes.
why I have the app. So like all
Yeah.
the Shonen Jump and Manga Plus releases come out at 10 a.m. So I'm like, okay, every day at 10 a.m. I check and I'm like, what's coming out? It's usually 2 to 5 series I'm reading each day. And then Viz does in the evenings, but it's only Tuesday the
How do
series
you
I care
keep
about.
track of everything in your head?
I don't. I check every day at 10 a.m.
No.
and I'm
Meaning like, how do you keep track of like the stories? Like you're reading like
oh,
5 a day.
It's way harder if I do volume. So if I was like reading, we'll use Yamada-kun as an example. There's like 3 out, and then I
Yeah.
gotta wait for volume 4 to come out. I'll be like, wait, what happened in 3? But like it's only been a week, maybe 2. So I'm like,
I wouldn't be able to keep track.
like Dandadan's so much easier for me to keep track of because I'm reading it weekly.
Oh yeah, it is weekly. Like I do think about like comics, they came out like monthly.
Right, no. There are monthly series. I mean, there's a number of series I read that are monthly, but every day, like today was one about a musician and an animator that came out, and then there's one about a ninja girl coming into a high school and she just wants to live a normal like Gyaru high school life, and the girl she chooses as her friend is like the smart girl from school who's like behaves like a 28-year-old. Can't remember the names off the top of my head, but like those two are today. So like I read those.
Do you just
this
go
morning.
on the
impressive.
app and you're like, oh, this is new, let me read it?
Yeah, I know this. There's let's say 6 or maybe 8 that come out each day, and I don't read all of them. So I'll be like, okay, this one I know I'm reading, new chapter. This one I'm reading, new chapter, and then we'll talk about it later. But they've been putting out one shots, and so periodically there will be a new one shot. If it says one shot, I'll read it.
I'm so impressed. Like I can't even keep track of people's names. Like most of the time I
you know
talk
how bad
about
my memory is. It's
most
not
of the time I
great.
talk about characters just by like the color of their hair.
Yeah.
Or you're like, the one with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so for an example, the new series I wanted to mention, Ichi the Witch. I couldn't remember the name of the author or the illustrator.
This is your best.
This is my best new. This is in Shonen Jump, so it comes out every Sunday. It is 2 people. The story is by Osamu Nishi, so that's the author of Iruma-kun, which is more of like a shonen series. The author or the artist is Shiro Usazaki. She was the artist of Act Age, which was a Shonen Jump series about acting, and she is so popular in the community because her art is godlike and cutesy, but like detailed and unique. So this new series is about a world where witches are female, it is what it is, and magics are basically monsters that magic comes from. And this community of witches across the world kind of monitor them and have to capture them. And usually it's by various challenges. It's not just beating them in combat. Ichi is just a boy who lived in the woods near a town. And he grew up in the woods, like he learned how to like kill boars and like hunt fish and or fish and set traps and all these things.
Yeah.
And he's like a wild boy. He trades for the nearby village for some stuff, but like that's how he lives. And then one day this uber magic appears in the forest he's in. And the witches come to try to deal with it, except this particular magic set his challenge pretty smartly because his one magic makes him immune to women, essentially. So none of the witches can hurt him. But she's like this uber hunter and takes him down very freaking easily. And now all the girls are like, what the heck? This boy picked up magic and he's a feral child and we don't know what to do with him. And his trainer,
He's Donnie from
Yeah, that's what I was
Wild
thinking.
Thornberries.
Donnie from Wild Thornberries.
so, not quite that bad. Like he speaks and everything, but he's like, let's just deal with my problem by like killing it with a knife and things.
So he's in between Gon and Donnie.
And his Gojo version, the best witch in the world, her name is Descaras, and she is so egotistical. She's like, I am the best, but in like a funny way, not a like. Like I can do what I want and like you should all bow down to me, and when she needs to give a report of what happened, she draws a comic and it's about how like she, the great Descaras, picked up this feral child who kind of helped a little bit, and the two of them are hilarious. So
That's fun.
It's such a great series. Where I think 11 or 12 chapters. I'm sure it'll get an anime in a year or two.
You mentioned the art with manga. Like I feel like I can forgive bad art with a good story.
This is both.
Can you forgive an okay story with really good art?
I struggle to do that, to be honest with
Okay,
you.
story with really good art. Okay.
I
Yeah.
struggle with that.
Like a 7 story or a 6 story.
Yeah, I think so. There's a few, like, One Punch Man, there's times where like the arcs kind of dip, but the art is so fun that you just kind of want to ride it out.
Would you ever drop a good story because the art is so bad?
Not No, I don't think so.
You'd still read it. How about you,
Yes.
So, like, this is the-
Naruto is such a big. Like if I can't watch it, that's why I struggled with Dandadan in the beginning because I was like, I don't like this art.
There are series where like the art just doesn't work for me. That has happened in the beginning, but not so much once I get involved. So like this is her art. Girl
I like it.
trying
It's
to
very
disguise
clear.
herself as a.
Go back to the
A
first
sledge.
page. Third page. One more. That's
These two?
That's Edshot.
That's like the straight by the rules woman who's like just as good as Descaros, and they do not get along. Like in school, Descaros was like running around stealing cookies from the school, and she's like, "No, you have to follow the rules," and like chasing her down. The comedy's really good. In chapter 5 or 6, there's a magic that needs to be. It's like it's an effeminate ice shark, and it's like the only way you can defeat me is by making me beautiful, and like they have to all try to find a way to make this shark gorgeous.
Put lipstick on a pig.
I like that challenge.
It was hilarious.
Make
So
me
that's my
beautiful.
best new. I can go first on the next one because it's the same idea, which is best continuing.
Yeah.
So I largely kind of agree with what yours is, but I will say two. One is I'm wearing it. I finally started One Piece this year, which is crazy to think that was this year, but I started it in maybe February, and I had read all of it in like a month and a half.
Jesus.
I powered through. It's so good. The world. It's a rough start. I don't know if anybody world builds the way that Oda world builds, and I'm fully hooked. I know it's going to take another like 8 years before he finishes it, and I'm along for the ride.
Manga versus anime.
Manga, easily.
Wow.
1000%.
But after like years
anime
of
drags. The anime
years
drags.
of avoiding it.
The anime drags. I'm trying to watch the anime for the new arc just because the art style is really cool. The
Yeah.
OP was actually in my contention, but it's just so slow. It's like 1.5 chapters per episode. It's so slow. And there were very clear dips in quality earlier on. The manga, it's Oda. I'd rather see what he's drawing.
Yeah. Mine.
I just want to say my actual one because
Oh,
I
that was
hinted
your
at this.
second
Remember
one.
when we talked about top 3
Oh,
fantasy series? Bugle of War. It's newer. I think it started last year. It's a fantasy series about a boy who has a horn growing out of his head, and he lives in like a medieval era. He's unfortunately part of a mercenary group, and he plays the bugle for them. The commander trained him. It's kind of like Vinland Saga vibes of that teacher. But then it turns out that with this bugle playing, he can create symbols in the air for the people listening to his music and kind of direct them. And so it turned like he helps them in a battle.
He's like an
But the
incredible bard.
But the people they're up against are the papal state, and they also have people with horns, and he gets picked up by them. And there's this group of people who have these horns and these abilities, but it's a very clever take on not just like, oh, this person has super speed, but like, how would that functionally work if you're moving faster than your brain can process?
You love
and
your
things
hard
like that.
magic systems.
It's not that hard. It's very soft, but it has like it applies like how people would behave.
How
it
far
doesn't
is it?
dictate how the magic works. Like, hey, here's systematically, but it's like, hey, if a person had this ability, how would it affect their life?
Okay. All right.
How long
27
running?
or 28 chapters. I think it
Okay.
started last year. It comes out every 2 weeks, maybe. So that's
good.
mine. I'm very excited for when that gets an anime announcement in a year or two, probably.
You think?
I
I mean, yeah, with like which
pretty
Atelier and
pretty
everything, it's gonna
popular.
get.
It's
Yeah.
pretty popular.
And like they come out with like 1,000 animes a year. It has to be picked up.
Yeah. I mean, for all the other ones that get it, this one should. But
Mine is Dan to Dan. It's a story about a guy named Dan who meets another person named Dan, and they just. It's funny. They play the saxophone.
Yeah.
And their saxophones create symbols in the air. Yeah, it's refreshing. It's fun. I mean, Dan to like for real, Dan to Dan. I mean, it just continues to be very fresh without feeling too insane. Like
he keeps introducing new stuff, and you're
new
like, where did this
stuff,
come
new
from, and how does
people.
it fit? But it does.
It always fits. It always fits. I can always count on the story to make somewhat sense by the time they're done with the arc. So
Yeah.
Dan-
That was my, I didn't pick it because it seemed obvious,
Yeah.
but I mean, every Monday, 10 a.m. on the dot, I have that app open, ready for a new chapter.
every like month and a half, I just
I text you and I'm like, dude, this new arc, we got a new character.
I caught up today.
So you saw we're getting some Seiko
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and the thriller characters.
I really liked. Sorry, but in the manga there was one scene with the girl,
The new girl, yeah.
where she pokes her head in, and it's very Uzumaki. Like
Yeah.
the way they drew it, it's like a fisheye lens, and like her eyes are like looking up in the corner, and I was like, ooh, horror. Yeah. It was good. Yeah, Dan to Dan.
Mine is probably Yona of the Dawn.
Ooh.
Still going.
Yeah.
45
say,
to
how many
50
volumes
volumes,
is that
I
at this
think.
point?
Holy shit.
But it is in its
90s.
final arc.
It's half a One Piece.
Yeah.
It's in its final arc, and One Piece is in its final arc.
Final saga, yes.
Yeah.
Final saga.
God.
Multiple arcs to a saga, but yes.
But yes, Yona of the Dawn keeps me coming back. It's a long story, but hey, I'm not tired of it.
Are you like caught up?
Yeah, up to what's printed, which is over
In
by
English.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That one's been on my like get around to it list. So
42.
now hearing that
42.
it's in the final arc, maybe I'll finally get around.
yeah, it's in its final arc. Yona is another best girl. She's just awesome.
You read mostly online.
Yeah, because I read. I'm
Yeah.
currently reading 90 series, so yeah,
And
I read
you
online.
buy volumes.
I buy what I can, but like I have space issues.
I think about I'm going back to the surprise thing. Didn't like one of the big booksellers get bought out by Crunchyroll? Right Stuff?
Yeah, right stuff.
Yeah, that was
anime.
last year, I think, but that was
last
bad.
year.
Yeah, that's
That was
bad.
But where do you buy all your stuff usually?
Kino Kuniya.
Same.
Yeah, Kino. Okay.
Yeah, as much as I can, I buy from Kino.
Is that like is it just because we're in New York or like everywhere?
They're
It's a
all-
pretty big
they're-
distributor.
They're all around, but I will say it's not as wide. Like it's not as prevalent in the Midwest. You're gonna get like coastal cities, like California's, New Jersey's, Texas,
We're a lot
Atlanta.
of we're a lot of Asian people.
Barnes
are.
and Noble still does it, but I feel like they used to be better. Like this Black Friday, I didn't even see a sale.
Yeah, sales
For-
is
for
Black
ma-
Friday.
for
weren't
manga,
great.
I have
But
a
two-
gripe with Barnes and Noble.
But 2 years
because
ago, they were doing it every year. I would keep
Yeah.
an eye on it.
they put the stupid security tag on the paper,
Oh, not on the cover. They put it on the paper.
like on a random page. So then you like
Unacceptable.
rip off half of the stupid print with the security
That's
tag.
really
At least in
annoying.
New York City on the Fifth Avenue Barnes and Noble.
Okay, I was gonna say, but if you order it off their website, they don't do that.
No, but I feel
That's
like
the only
it's
way I
like
was
a
getting it.
50-50
Yeah.
chance that it's going to be waterlogged and smashed.
yeah, dented corners.
Like
Yeah.
there's just such care when we used to order from Right Stuff when it
Yes.
existed. There was so much care in it. Like it was lined. You know, they all know we were
They'd
big book
they'd
nerds.
make sure.
I remember.
Like if it was creased.
I remember the first time we went into Kino, and I didn't really know about manga, and I was like, Emily, they do such a good job. They wrap everything in plastic. She goes, no, that means that it's spicy.
Oh no, at Kino they wrap everything.
Kino wraps everything.
Oh,
yeah.
Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. I was gonna say because Japanese bookstores are the same.
Yes, they
largely,
wrap.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's such care, but the spicy stuff in,
No,
in
that's how you know it's good.
Barnes and Nobles.
Speaking of what's good, not all my segues are thought out well. Best animated movie.
Am I first?
Sure, why not? Do you have one in mind?
Yes, mine is Mononoke the movie.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it available somewhere I could be watching it? Because I know
Not
it came
yet,
out.
not legally.
Okay. I was waiting.
I think it's
but
going to be on
wanna see it.
Netflix. I
Okay.
don't know when.
That's
but
all right.
When did you watch it?
you were sleeping on a plane, I think.
Okay. Oh, they had it on. Okay.
Oh no, I like,
You
had it
got
on
it.
here.
Yeah, that's on my list. I really want to see that.
It's like such an interesting. I mean, you know,
I
you
think
have
there's gonna be multiple.
there's a
right?
sexy white-haired yokai man, so I have a type.
What is it about?
Actually, it looks like it was just released on Netflix the 28th. So
Oh, cool. So I
we
could
can-
see it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be multiple, right?
Yeah, there's going to be 3. It's based off of, you can probably fact check me. I don't know if it's a novel or it's existing media. It's
Yeah.
based off of existing media. I mean, it's marketed as like a horror fantasy type thing, but it's, long story I don't want to give away too much because I feel like it's fun going in not knowing anything about it because the trailer is so jarring to watch. It's like psychedelic in a sense. So it's like you have this guy yokai, right? And then you have this like concubine of women who are like who like have all either by one happenstance or another are all part of this like brothel and they are battling their own demons and real demons.
Yeah.
Cool.
It is based off of an anime from 2007, which I didn't see, Mononoke, which is in turn based off of a spin-off of Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales, which was a 2006 anthology series.
There you go.
Wow, that's like a lot of like levels to this.
But like
game.
if you look at like the movie poster, it's
Yeah,
like
the art is
so
so
cool and
yeah. The style is really neat. It reminds me of Science Saru anime. Not
Nice.
specifically Dandadan,
Yeah.
but like some of the other stuff they do where it's very
here like this is
distinct.
another like still from it, like some
Yeah.
stills from
Oh
it.
wow, that's pretty.
Like
Yeah, I just hadn't
Very
realized it's out
pretty.
yet, but I'm very excited to see it.
The coloring is like
Well,
very unique.
it looks like it was just released, which I did not know that. So.
And how did you watch it?
No.
Stop bringing attention to it. It got watched.
Okay.
There's
It
ways
was
to see
released
things.
it premiered
Come
at
find me, police.
a Japanese film festival.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mine, not surprising, is Look Back. Admittedly, I don't know how many anime films I watched this year. I did end up going to see the War of the Rohirrim. It did not unseat Look Back.
I hated War.
You saw it?
Yes, I saw it.
We could talk about it a little bit, but I also didn't enjoy it, so I'm glad to hear I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
It was
Is
okay.
that the one you just saw, like today?
I saw it yesterday. I should have texted you.
Let's table it until the end of this movie thing.
But, I mean, even if it was like an 8 out of 10, it wouldn't have supplanted Look Back for me. It's just such a unique story and one that doesn't get told a lot in anime. Obviously, I loved how Oshiyama did it and like really did it in a different way than how the manga is told, so it's worth seeing both. So I've talked about it enough. I have a whole video about it, so I'm going to end there.
I thought mine would be Transformers 1.
Okay. I was
Transformers
going to say,
1
that's what you wrote down.
Yeah, that's what I wrote. It was really good.
Okay.
And I think I just have it's favoritism because I love Transformers. I love big robots.
Okay.
But with more thought, honorable mention, Inside Out 2 was very good.
Okay.
But I really, really liked The Wild Robot.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's DreamWorks. It's a story of a robot who is built as a helper robot who gets stranded on an island, on an uninhabited island, or uninhabited by people, and learns about motherhood in this dense forest. And it's just so well told. The animation is beautiful. The colors.
I mean, DreamWorks knows how to tug at your heartstrings.
They've really. I mean, like you. It started. Pixar was like the one to beat.
Yeah.
I really think DreamWorks has upped their game in the last 5 years, where DreamWorks is consistently putting out great movies. So, and I think it got nominated for a Golden Globe, but it hasn't been getting as much buzz. Compared to like what a Pixar film would get.
Well, I was going to say, how do you feel about the fact that both of our favorite movies are, I know Look Back is an Oscar contention, they're going to lose to Inside Out, and it's not going to be deserved.
Yeah. I mean, Inside Out 2 was very good.
Boy and the Heron was last season, Oscar
last
season,
year,
right?
because it won. Yeah.
There are very few sequels that I think deserve to win things. Godfather 2 and like Toy Story 2 are the only two where I'm like, the sequels are better than the original.
And Happy Gilmore 2, which is now in production.
Oh, yes.
Filmed in New Jersey.
That will be better.
Yeah.
War of the Rohirrim was hot trash.
Okay, I kindly gave it a 7, but it's because I liked the girl, and I thought her brothers were okay. The dad was so-so. The villain was stupid and made no sense. And they had, like, Chinese kung fu movie abilities sometimes. Like, she jumps 8 feet over a sword. The dad survives, or is out in the snow for, like, weeks, and is totally fine. Meanwhile, they're, like, the
Is it
cold...
like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon vibes?
Not exactly.
It ignores its own rules. They're like, oh man, it's cold. We're gonna freeze out here, and then someone's just out in the wood, out in the snow with no shirt on for like weeks apparently, and fine.
Dancing with their mecha.
It ignores its own rules.
I give it like maybe a 5, like 4.5.
My friend asked me how it was, and I thought he was into it, so I told him it was a 7. But
it just moves from cliche to cliche to cliche. Like everything you think is going to happen happens. You're like, oh, this is the part where this person dies. This is the part where this person dies.
The I assume CG backgrounds that were used, maybe it was drawn, but like anytime there was any panning movement because the characters are drawn, but the background was not, it's super jittery, and they do panning shots, and you're like, I can't tell what it's panning.
It's pretty, but it's
jittery.
It's,
I was going to say, is it like headache inducing?
Maybe it's because I was editing the episode, an episode beforehand, but there's literally a moment in the fight scene where like a guy is coming in the fight scene, and then he just clips out.
Oh, really?
I really jumped out to me.
There
was a bad cut.
Brian Cox does a really good job as Helms, but like, why do you need a Helm's Deep origin story?
Oh,
I don't know.
The ending too, where they're like hammering in, they're like, and that's why spoilers, but whatever. And that's why we called it Helm's Deep. I was like, we all knew that. You didn't need to say. And then at the end, when she's like, she's like, and then Saruman comes in.
There are cameos. They're like Saruman.
Saruman's at the end for no reason.
Yeah, and they mentioned Gandalf.
The Gandalf part is so bad. So this was the part.
I have to tell you what I thought.
First of all, when she jumped over the sword, I laughed out loud, and people around me were like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "Because it's so dumb." She goes. they're leaving, and the character goes, luckily, I think I might know a wizard who could help. And I'm like, okay, that's the nod. You did the thing.
Dumbledore.
Then they go.
Don't spoil me.
Then her friend, like, there's a pause because it's like, wow. And she goes, are you gonna tell me his name? And she goes, he's a wizard with many names. And I'm like, everybody has seen Lord of the Rings.
Voldemort.
We get it.
Harry.
And then there's like another 5-second pause to be like, you get it, right? And then she goes, but some people call him Gandalf. And I was like, fuck you.
Some people call him
that's like,
Nani.
It's like, we all know who
There
you're
was a
talking
wizard.
about. Yeah.
of many names.
You're not pausing long enough. Yeah,
Dude.
yeah, I hate that. It made me so mad.
It was so stupid, and like
If they had took the cameos out, I would have given it a score higher.
the cameos were dumb. Like they made it
It was so much better when it was not connected
but
to anything
there
else.
they didn't gain anything out of animating it. Like probably just because
Yeah.
the budget was lower. But
It struggled a little bit when they like look out in the field and she's like, look how big their army is. And I'm like, it's not
like
that
12
big because
people.
it's like so far back.
Like you have CG, you could make it thousands of people, and there's like 10.
Yeah.
And then like at the end, my brain had turned off because it was so stupid that like Saruman appears. I see the white cloak, and under my breath I go, oh, Dumbledore.
Wow.
I've been watching Lord of the Rings for 2 hours. I was like, Dumbledore.
Yeah. Well, we went a little off topic there. I don't know. Maybe
War of
we'll
the
just pull this
Rohirrim.
out and
Don't watch it.
Make it a short. But yeah, I was trying to be nice. But yeah, it's not even in contention for a good animated movie of the year.
Biggest disappointment.
So we're done with disappointment. So we have these two categories which are a little vague. Best shonen anime. Mm-hmm. And we also have best shoujo / romance because we kind of felt like there was overlap. Shonen kind of encompasses a lot of things, but what did you have for best shonen?
My best shonen, and it might be last year.
Well, we
I
also
don't
have
know,
best
terrible
anime, by
at
the
this.
way. So it's best shonen, best shoujo, and romance, and then best anime.
Yes.
So your best shonen.
My best shonen is Delicious in Dungeon.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I loved the world building. I love the characters. I obviously love Senshi. I like that there's a little bit of fan service for the people who love boobas out there.
Is there?
With the sister, when she turns into the dragon.
Oh, well, what's her name?
Did
Barely.
she really need to be like pseudo topless?
I guess.
Not really. Well, in any case, that's,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed everything about it, and I'm really excited to watch more of it. Maybe I'll read it. Probably not, but
I would suggest
it's
it. The manga's
there.
great.
It's there.
It
in a
exists.
different
It's good
style.
enough that I would read the manga.
Yeah. Yeah, I was only thought that was interesting because it actually gets a lot of praise, the manga, but also the anime too, for pretty much being sexless. Like the girls are not really
Yeah.
They're not really sexualized at all. The elves
No.
are like lithe and not like pouring out of their tops. Like the beast men, like the females are like topless, but like in no way is it sexual. The cat character is female. Well, like they're a cat, so like they have hair there.
Yeah.
It's intentionally non-sexual.
What's the, again? I'm
and
terrible
also
with
the
names.
mangaka's a woman.
You know that. What's the name of the main elf girl or wizard?
Marcel?
Marcel. Yeah, when we watched the behind the scenes with the studio, they were talking
Trigger, yeah.
with Trigger. They were talking about how like literally every episode, every scene, she has new hair.
Yeah.
The fact that they put that much care into this anime, like, come on, I'm ready. I'm ready for more. That's my best shonen.
Okay.
Shonen.
My best shonen, oh yeah, of course, was Dandadan.
Dope. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's got romance in it, but I am like, it is in a shonen jump, so I'll count it as a shonen series. It's got a lot of action and sci-fi in addition to the romance, and also I like the idea of moving away from the idea from like romance is the girls series.
I really
like we can have a series that has really good romance in it and arguably is a romance series, but also does action and sci-fi.
I would argue that it's not a romance series. It has a lot of romance, but it really is like it's an action anime. Like that's or action.
I mean, the author
shoujo.
often will classify it as romance.
Yeah,
They'll
but
call it
I-
a romance
I
series,
wouldn't
but it's
call
not. It's
it-
not
yeah.
just romance, but like the
Yeah.
romance is a crucial part of it. The romance / friendship, which becomes a romance.
The character, it's a character-driven story.
Yeah, it's about the two of them and then their widening group of friends.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
Shonen?
Shonen. Oh, okay. What if I was like this about shoujo?
No.
Wait, you haven't seen what he wrote for Shojo. You can do this.
Oh my god, no.
No, I'm kidding.
I think I fully biased that I think a lot of it is nostalgia factor, but I think this is the first season in a while where My Hero made me feel excited to watch it again.
Okay, good. That's a great reason.
My Hero was the first one that I like truly binged through COVID and got me back into anime, and then I was like struggle busting the last 2 seasons, and then this season I like found myself getting excited over the fight scenes again, getting excited, like being like rooting, like yes, yes, yes. And then I will say, this is just a sidebar. Blue Lock, I feel like I agree. The first 4, 5 episodes was pretty rough, but this last episode that came out in dub was epic.
Okay.
Hi, Japan.
Epic. Yes. Nagi has his moment, and it's like Karlo was on the floor, and it was just one of those like I was sweating. I was so excited.
I also think Blue Lock, like, it really benefits if you've played soccer, like, competitively. Because, like, because of the animation, there's a lot of, like, fill in the blanks where, like, if you played the sport, you would sort of, like, be able to interpolate what happens. But if not, you're just like, okay, that's just a moving figure. And then, like, all of a sudden they're doing something cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Blue Lock is cool.
The reason for my large sigh at the beginning was just like, I was like, ugh, like I'm gonna feel like My Hero was the wrong answer given what was talked about earlier this episode.
No, you mentioned it earlier that you were happy with the season.
But
so that makes sense.
yeah, I think it was like a good back to, for me it was a little
Return
bit
to form.
Yeah, return to form. That was what I'm searching for.
So I know we've been taking turns, but I do want to let you also start with Best Shoujo and Romance because I feel like we're both going to have more to say on this one than you will.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I have a comment about your choice because it's interesting.
Wait, what's your shonen?
No, I already said mine.
Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, shoujo.
Do you want to see what you wrote?
No, I know what it is.
Okay.
It's Frieren.
Why'd you pick that?
Because it's my favorite shoujo.
Why do you classify it as a shoujo?
And
And this is, by the way, why I said like it's interesting that we made shoujo and shonen the categories because I wouldn't classify this as either, really.
yeah,
but
it's not.
it's a fantasy.
It's a
series.
fantasy, which like I guess fits into shonen, but I just think the themes explored, like where I would say Dandadan is more action than romance, I would say that Frieren is more romance than action. Like, it's more about the characters and the relationships between said characters, and the fact that the 2 main point of view characters are Fern and Frieren, like them being female, being women, like it indicates 1 second.
Yeah.
Got pizza. But while I'm putting the pizza away, I just think with the main characters being...
No, come back and sit down. You don't have to do it while you're walking.
Okay.
Frieren.
With the main characters being women and with the point of view being like their point of view for the majority of the show, I would say that it is, to me, it's categorized as a shoujo over a shonen. But like it is, I mean, it does like straddle between both.
Those aren't, it's not like, and I think we know this, but it's not like all manga are shonen or shoujo.
Yeah.
Those are just a few categories.
Yeah.
Like, Shonen is really like Shonen Jump and a few other magazines targeted at boys, and like a lot of manga falls outside
I think of it more as like demographic versus.
Yeah, who is it targeted to? And this one, I feel like it could be targeted.
The reason
to
that's
anybody.
interesting is because Ryoko Kui, who is the author of Delicious in Dungeon, is a woman, and we don't know the gender of the Frieren authors. There's 2 of them, but the name of one of them would imply that they're probably a man, and the other one is named Abe. We don't know; it could be a pseudo, but I was like,
Cher.
Yeah.
It's subcategorization defying.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my favorite shoujo.
I categorize Frieren and Spice and Wolf very similarly. Like
Yeah, but I don't think of them as shoujo or shonen.
no.
either.
I'm saying though, to me, I think like this is just a sidebar. Right?
Yeah.
Like I packaged kind of those are like the similar type of
It could-
genres.
yeah, it
like,
could be
medieval kind
either
of
or.
fantasy,
Yeah, like
slow
the-
life, slow moving through like a large landscape where time passes.
like you're a
and there's
spectator
romance
in the
element.
world.
Yeah. I was between. I mean, there were a bunch that I thought of. I didn't list Frieren. My second is Sign of Affection because I really did. I really enjoyed it. But admittedly, I also read the manga. But I was so happy with both season 1 and season 2 of the anime, and the fact it pays off well in season 2. Dangers in my heart.
Yes.
Kyotaro and Anna are adorable together. It's amazing watching them have disagreements or problems and then immediately addressing them like normal people. Again, Reiwa era romance. They're so cute. I like the fact that they admittedly imply that like Kyotaro is going through like what a teen boy would go through, not in like a graphic way, but they're like he's a teen boy, and so that comes up at times. And the same thing with Anna, like she's dealing with growing up as like a middle school girl, and like what does that mean between being like a young girl and like trying to want to be an adult, but not really knowing what that means. And they're just adorable together, and all their friends are so great. Yeah, I love it. I hope there's a season 3.
Good writing, good characterization.
Mine was A Sign of Affection. So.
Hey, yeah.
It's just very interesting how you were like, I liked A Sign of Affection and Dangers in My Heart, middle school and college.
Yeah, very different.
So if anything, it shows you the diversity that we got this year. But it's also diversity in and of itself because Yuki, the main character, is deaf, and then Itsuomi is half Japanese, half German. So
that's why it's a sign.
Yeah, like sign language. Yes.
I haven't watched it.
Sign of Affection kept popping up on my recommendations from my mutuals on TikTok, like a lot, like to read it. And knowing the premise, I was like, I don't really know if I'm gonna like enjoy and like the sign language piece, if that's just gonna be distracting, or like how are they gonna convey that in print, right? So when I watched the anime first, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is like where this kind of the story took me and sucked me in.
Yep.
And then I went out and bought all the volumes.
It benefited strongly from a very good anime adaptation that did a great job getting an actual, I believe, deaf voice actress to do the role and playing with. In the beginning, when you don't know that she's deaf, they do interesting things with the sound mixing to like kind of clue you in over time. That when it happens, you're like, oh, that's why it was sounding different.
Oh.
Yeah, and like. Apparently, there's like Japanese sign language. I mean,
ASL,
American Sign Language, and like Japanese sign language. And then, I think they also like consulted.
There's two different types of
Japanese sign language. Yeah.
So then I think they too like consulted like to make sure that the signs were correct.
Yeah.
But Sign of Affection.
Why are there?
It's a duo who write and draw it, and I think maybe it was in a bar, but they ended up meeting a woman who signed, and she became their
like consultant.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are there two different sign languages in Japan?
Why are there 3 written type of languages?
It's in the
hiragana, kanji, and katakana.
I don't know if you have the first book right here, but it tells you right in it why what they are.
We can find out afterwards.
Yeah. But it's really interesting, and so they account for that too. It's like they won't.
Magic of editing.
Wait, interview with Sue. Okay, maybe not. Whatever. We'll find it after, because I don't want to spend too much time looking for it.
Yeah.
But the amount of work that went into that is really cool, and I enjoy when manga do that.
And the covers are just gorgeous.
The art style is very distinct. A lot of any series can look alike, and so there's like a typical shojo style that you'll see in a lot of more generic ones.
Like,
it's very distinct the way she draws. Yeah.
Is there? I feel like there is a shojo color palette and a shonen color palette.
What do you mean, like pink and peach?
Oh, I wasn't
even like the colors.
Yeah,
like
I wasn't even thinking color palettes, but like the softness of the looks and like there's soft little bubbles when things.
But even the softness of the colors, they won't use a bright orange. They'll use a pink. They won't use a hot pink. They'll use.
There's a starter kit that some series will go with off of each of them, and it's like here's the colors to use.
Their Procreate brushes, like.
Yeah. We have one last category. Before we do that, I didn't mention this really quick, and this will be a later series. I just wrote down a note because I don't think either of you have. Maybe you do, but like a best one shot for the year.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you guys have really read anything that stuck out to you. I'm not going to read through a bunch, but I have. I'm glad you finally read it. I'm glad you finally read it.
That's probably the only
just
one
needed
shot.
a movie to come out and an opportunity to interview the director for you to finally read the book I gave you 4 years ago.
If the movie's good, I'll read the book.
Yeah.
I mean, Junji Ito, right?
I wanted to say that. I wanted to say that in the interview. I didn't because it would have been like pointless. But I wanted to be like, thank you for making this movie to finally make him read the book. But Shonen Jump has been unfortunately using AI. There's a company, Studio Mikon. They're terrible. But they've been taking a lot of one-shots that come out in Shonen Jump in Japan and translating them with this service so that they come out in the US as well. And I think they start in September. I've read probably like 25 one-shots, and I didn't realize it'd only been since September. So later in another episode, I'll give you guys like the title and these weird descriptions I'm writing for them. But my favorite is called Goodbye Boy, except it's spelled B-W-E instead of B-Y-E. I don't know why. It's about... It kind of reminds me of like, there's a little bit of like One Punch elements and like the art style kind of reminds me of Fujimoto, but it's about a boy and a girl, and the girl turns out to have superpowers because she's been like chosen by the planet as its defender, and they're dating, and she decides that because of her powers, she's a risk to him, and so she's like, I'm leaving you, and she like flies away, and it's about him chasing her. And it seems like it'd be dramatic, and it kind of is, but there's comedy elements too, because she keeps popping up, and she's like, why are you doing this? And it's like maybe 60 pages. Loved it, great ending. And I have a list. I was like, I'd come up with 1 or 2 for each of you. I have a list of like, I think 14 that I'll probably just end up giving you guys my goofy descriptions and see in another episode if you like pick 2 that sound interesting. But there's so many great one-shots, and I love that even if unfortunately it's getting some annoying AI translations, that these authors who only get to put out a one-shot in Shonen Jump are getting a shot at the international audience, seeing and resonating with what they're doing.
What genre usually are these one-shots?
All over the place. So, like, there's a couple of romance, like Love in Full Swing is about 2 girls in high school who are like into the same guy, but it's a goofy violence manga. There's one about a gyaru going to like a haunted house and like dealing.
Is this me?
And I think it's one you'll like, and she meets like
not enough
an evil
fake
old lady,
tan on you to be
but
gyaru.
it goes a direction you wouldn't expect.
There's different types of gyaru.
There's one I like, Yuka's Way of Expressing Love, is about a girl who, or no, that's not it. It's wait, what? I Told You It's Not Good, about a girl who seems kind of like aloof and like really pretty. She's a school beauty. Guy from, I think, Hokkaido actually Okinawa has an accent. She's into a boy in one manga that she really loves, and she writes fan fiction about him, but the character's from Okinawa, and she doesn't know how to write his voice, so she gets this boy to like help her do that. And it's about them building a friendship. Everybody thinks she's aloof, but she just wants to do shit. And there's all kinds of crazy stuff. So all kinds of genres.
All of these one-shots, it's usually like new authors, young authors?
Some are repeat, like the author of Claymore put out a one-shot 2 weeks ago, and that's like a very popular manga that ran for a couple hundred chapters, got an anime. And they like came back after a while and put out this one-shot. So it runs the gamut. But yes, a fair number of them are like newer authors or people who've been trying but like haven't had anything take off yet.
That's fun.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just a pause to get to the real ringer of best anime series. Now I have to ask really quickly, because we decided it could be series that started last year and continued this year. We had talked about this previously, and Frieren feels like a very strong contender. Does anyone not have Frieren as their best anime of the year? Yeah? Okay. Because I think it ended up being mine.
Frieren?
Yeah. When we were not going to include it, it was Delicious in Dungeon, because that all came out this year, and it's a consistent show. The art doesn't drop, the story doesn't drop, it's entertaining throughout, but Frieren is just like a beast of its own.
Yeah, Frieren is great, and it's the pacing, even though it is slower, it's very different than any other anime, but it still keeps you engaged throughout all of it. I mean, I don't think we can add much to what anybody else has said about Frieren. It's very good.
So that said, we'll go you then you. What is your favorite?
Dandadan.
Okay.
Dandadan is Dandadan. It's my favorite of the year. It's so engaging, just like the manga. The animation is great. I think it really elevates what you see on the page. We watch it in dub, and the voice actors are really great as well. Mm-hmm. Highly recommend to anybody. I know there's a lot of controversy in the TikTok sphere.
Still?
Yeah, in the Twitter sphere. I mean, now there's new controversy. We won't get into it, but it just goes from controversy to controversy, and I think part of it has to do with the fact that it is so popular. It is on so many people's radar.
Topic?
We can talk about it.
Okay, that's fine. I was curious if it was the same thing.
Let's put a pin in
No.
that.
I was only curious if it was the same thing resurfacing. So.
Oh, no. Different things. Yeah. But the reason I think it's got a lot of haters because it's so very popular.
When you get the more viewers, the more haters, the more clout, and the more the people are talking about.
And people will be very vocal. You know, there's always vocal minorities. Any case, Frieren, Dandadan.
Yeah, it was my number 3, and it's only because it's not done, and unlike Frieren and Delicious, like not that it holds it really back, but the art dropped a bit in a couple episodes, and like those 2 series were consistent all the way through.
I'll hold myself to this.
But I love Dandadan.
Next year, Dandadan can't be my
It'll probably be mine.
One.
It'll probably be mine.
Unless a new season comes out somehow in the fall.
Well, because we're getting Core 2, which means we're getting the house.
Yeah, but like it's still the first season. I will.
Correct. Yeah. It'll be probably mine
for me. Yeah. Em,
Mine
yours is. I want to build this up because like I feel like I'm pretty easy. I'm casual. Like you're pretty shown in a lot of things that you like are like pretty popular in the sphere. You're like a new beast in the anime world. Like not as many shoujo heavy people making content like this.
Well, now you're building me up. But so mine is...
It's my hero.
Yeah, right. No, mine is Apothecary Diaries.
Okay.
And I looked at it holistically. I was like, okay, what was I excited to watch every week? What OPs and EDs did I not skip?
Mm-hmm.
What had the most cast of characters that I enjoyed? And what am I most excited for season 2 to come out? And I think for me, Apothecary Diaries checked all of those boxes, as well as being able to cosplay and it be like a really fun cosplay to start to build.
Oh, you working on one?
Not currently, but I think Maomao would just be really fun, or even like any of the court, like the Rear Palace princesses. Like
I've seen some online. It's really cool.
I think the world is interesting. I love the political intrigue and the mystery and how it does come together. It's like to me, it's like a Nancy Drew novel where you get like little snippets every episode, and then it kind of all comes together in the end. And I love it. It's like a good mystery, a really compelling female character. A hot boy voiced by Kaiji Tang, and who also voices Gojo, and a really compelling story, and a good ED and a good OP. So,
if that's your Nancy Drew, what's the Hardy Boys that's going to cross over? Because they occasionally split into each other's world. I thought you were a fan. You don't have an answer for this dumb question I came up with?
I have an answer, and it's True Beauty.
There you go. The Hardy Boys.
Yeah, I got reincarnated into it.
The two boys who you're like, they kind of look the same.
It's Link
Link Click.
Oh, yeah.
They take a picture of Jinshi,
and then they flash
back.
Yeah. They high five.
And he already knows martial arts, so he'll be good for it. Yeah.
So if you're gonna cosplay Maomao, what do I cosplay? The Rear Palace?
Yeah. You could be the frog.
This was your chance to call me Jinshi.
You could be the frog.
You could be the frog.
Bye.
I'll go as one of the courtesans.
You can go as the old hag who owns the brothel.
Which one of us were you talking to?
Yeah, both. It'll be like a donkey. You're the top and I'm the bottom.
Or the...
Not in BL way.
I didn't make the joke that time.
All right, who's the uke? Who's the sene?
God, boy with uke.
God. Wow, I didn't know that's where the episode was going to go. Anyway.
It's always where the episode goes.
It's a new year. We're starting it off, wrapping up 2024 so we can look forward into 2025. And real quick, just one thing, if there's anything off the top of your head, what are you looking forward to most in 2025? I feel like yours is going to be Apothecary Diaries Season 2.
Apothecary Diaries Season 2 is just coming out in like a couple weeks, or it probably will come out by the time this airs.
Okay.
I think some other highlights are going to be oh my god, I can never say it. Kakurio, the Bed and Breakfast for Spirits Season 2 is coming out after a very long-awaited couple years. So I'm excited for that one. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be an exciting couple seasons. So I always just love seeing what they're going to come out with and how much more manga I'm going to accumulate.
Yeah.
So
Bugle of War is getting an English release. Viz announced it last week. So
Konosuba Season 3.
Konosuba Season 3 OVA is coming out in like 2 months.
Witch Hat Atelier.
My Happy Marriage.
Don Didon, second core, not officially announced as of today, but it's going to be in the summer, I think, is the rumor. And Monogatari, the other part of Offen's second season should happen, and maybe finally the Madoka Magica movie, which was supposed to happen in 23 and was supposed to happen in 24. They're now saying 2025. Maybe it'll happen.
Welcome to the Yuri on Ice adolescence.
Never happening. Wait, has it just been delayed, or is it like in production?
It's so much work is going into it. They're clearly just trying too hard. It's Shaft. They're definitely working on it, but hopefully in 2025 we get it.
An ode to some of our best characters. They're Alia.
Oh yeah, season 2.
Season 2.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to my first rave and first.
Okay.
What's the ball at Otakon?
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say you're going to a rave. Okay,
I'm excited. Not my first rave.
I'm excited to hopefully go to Otakon and see what that's all about.
Otakon should be fun. It felt very different from.
I'm excited to see what Komiket is like.
Oh yeah.
When this comes out, I'll have been to Komiket, and hopefully I'll still be alive.
But that will be 2024.
Yes.
Doesn't count.
Okay, you're right. I'm excited to go back in 2025 to officially be there for the 50th anniversary. Because I'm going to love it so much that I want to go back.
Or you'll be utterly exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to be around for Osaka Expo, or does that start later in the year?
I
it's
think
May.
it's later in the year. Yeah, I won't be there. But who knows? Maybe
We'll have to make a trip back.
Yeah, for Osaka Expo. I'd go for that. That's when they're moving the Gundam, right?
Yeah.
That's what they moved the Gundam
What is
for.
Osaka Expo?
Well, we'll talk about it after the pod. And if you want to know about it and it's interesting, maybe we'll talk about it in a future episode.
Let's do Osaka Expo.
I mean, I'm
Expo so.
You said it on here, so it's official. You're committed to it. Emily, take the time off of work. The one person with responsibilities.
We're gonna do it on location.
Yeah, I would be down for that. Anyway, if you want to see us do that, please subscribe to the podcast so we know people are enjoying it. If you want to check us out on Instagram and TikTok, it's at Perfectly Mid. Episodes also going up on Spotify if you want to watch there, but YouTube's better, so keep subscribing. Like and comment, and really commenting helps us out a lot. So let us know what you would have picked for any of the awards. If you think we were right, if you think we were wrong, if there's a cool idea for an award that we didn't do, maybe we'll talk about it midway through the year.
If you thought our picks were mid, sucks to suck.
Yeah, if you thought our picks were mid, it's in the name of the podcast, so we nailed it.
Oh, I have an idea for something else. Okay.
Okay, find out what that is in a future episode. Bye.
Bye.
Flip. All right.
My idea was, what is your most